This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
AFL. On your radio.
On digital. And take us with you on the ABC Listener.
Look for the AFL button.
Saturday afternoon, twilight footy at the MCG as Hawthorn host Melbourne. The Hawks haven't beaten the D's in their last 8 meetings since round 4 2018, but they will be bolstered by the inclusion of captain James Sicily after successfully downgrading his kicking charge at the tribunal during the week following a 24-point loss to the Bombers last week. While Melbourne, they welcome the return of Harrison Petty, who hasn't played since August last year, into their forward line to join Brown, Van Rooyen and Fritsch, who was held goalless in their 45-point win over the Western Bulldogs. Great to have your company on live footy on ABC Sport, via ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital and via the ABC Listen app. Matt Clinch with you. It's a perfect day for footy, around 20 degrees. While the floodlights are on, the natural light is beaming down. There's no late changes. Jack Gunston is the sub for the Hawks and Marty Hoare for the Demons. Lauren Borden to call the action alongside me. Welcome to you, Loz.
Thanks, Clinchy. It really is a perfect day for footy at the MCG. Maybe not the heat of last week that the Hawks played in, but they're able to stick with the Bombers for 3.5 quarters. So we'll see what they can do for Melbourne against Melbourne today, if they can stick with them, or maybe like last year when they were able to pick off a few of those top billing sides, if they can do that again today. Yeah,
big challenge for the young Hawks, searching for their first win against Melbourne, a side who most think will be competing for the top 4 this year. Once more, we're joined by two-time Premiership Hawk Brad Sewell. Welcome to you, Sully.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it's a glorious afternoon here. There is a bit typical swirly MCG day, though, so plenty of the guys I saw having set shots and trying to work out which way it's going to spin out there, Clinchy.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge of the afternoon. An Australian Football Hall of Fame member, the St Kilda champion, Nathan Burke, is here for a Saturday afternoon. Welcome to you, Burkey.
Hello, Matthew, Lauren, Bradley. Lovely to be here with you all. And as you said, Loz, beautiful day for football out there. Not too hot, a little bit of a wind, but really no excuses on a beautiful MCG.
Last year, Finn McGuinness went to Clayton Oliver. He kept him to 14 disposals, his lowest since his debut year. You'd imagine there'd be a similar sort of matchup this afternoon. And Max Gawn, he was able to dominate against Tim English last week. So a couple of the challenges for the Hawks in their contest this afternoon. Sully, we know they're a young side. They probably impressed a little bit more last year than what many expected with their 7 wins, but you're looking for that progression to continue in 2024.
Yeah, you are. It's not so much about wins and losses for Hawthorn this year. They're a particularly tough start to the year. It'll be really important for their progression next year that they finish this year well. So consistency in efforts is going to be a challenge for this young Hawthorn side in this first half of the season, particularly against a hardened, seasoned side in Melbourne. And they'll be looking for small victories across the field. And if it does happen to be Finn McGuinness and Clayton Oliver again, that'd be a fantastic matchup. And the D's stunk it up a little bit last year. They weren't happy with the treatment that Oliver got.
No.
But you'd expect that Melbourne should account quite easily for Hawthorn today.
When you compare the two midfields, Berkey, Melbourne bolstered with Clayton Oliver, Christian Petrarca, Max Gawn, it looks like a pretty dominant midfield, which will give the young Hawks a few challenges this afternoon. Yeah,
and throw Viney into that mix as well, who I think is a very underrated player. He's a very consistent, hard-at-it player. So, no, it's going to be tough for the Hawks. Saw Melbourne last week play a real keepings-off style of football against the Western Bulldogs. So much so that Jack Billings, playing on a wing, had 15 uncontested marks, so much that they were chipping the ball around. So I'm not sure whether that is their style or is that just what the Western Bulldogs gave them. But if I'm Hawthorn, I'm looking at that game. We can't allow them to do that. So expecting a real one-on-one type of game today from the Hawks.
And Hawthorn's new look forward line with Luke Bruce to Mitch Lewis, Dylan Moore alongside Marbiel Chol. The inclusion of Jack Ginnivan and the return of Jack Gunston. Sitting in the front row for us this afternoon is Andrew Mays. Welcome to you, Maysy.
Very good afternoon to you, Clinchy, and the team and everyone listening wherever you might be. As Sully said, it is pretty swirly down here, so looking at the flags, there's a pretty strong northerly wind, but where I'm sitting, it's going in exactly the opposite direction. So it is very, very swirly. Be interested to see the skills early on. Subs for today's game as well, Marty Hoare and Jack Gunston, the sub for Hawthorn. So a bit of experience on the bench.
Thank you, Maisie. Hawthorn heading to the city end in the opening quarter. And we're all in readiness as round 2 of the AFL continues. It's Hawthorn and Melbourne from the MCG. Here's Lauren Borden to get things underway.
Reason gone in the ruck. MCG bathed in the afternoon sunlight of a cool Melbourne day. Gawn gets a tap out, tries to get it to Oliver. He picks it up, hand passes blindly. Pickett can grab it, hand passes it away. It'll be stolen here by Ward. He tries to get a hand pass away, and then Viney comes in to grab the ball. He's tackled by Ward, and the umpire will eventually come in to toss the ball up centre square of the MCG.
Cosy Pickett starting in the centre bounce with Petrarca starting on the half-forward flank.
Gawn one down the tap, but Warple's over the footy for the Hawks. Can't knock it clear. Chance for Finn McInnes, who gets a kick out to the far wing. The foot race is on. Ed Langdon should get there first for Melbourne. Has to cut around Mitch Lewis of the Hawks. Hand pass away to McVee. He looks up towards half-forward, and Clayton Oliver takes the mark. Finn McInnes right there with him as he cannons into a Hawthorn opponent in Luke Bruce. Clayton Oliver inside 50, back with the flight. Max Gawn can't take the mark. Sicily, the Hawthorn captain, a clearing hand pass, but only as far as Petrarca. Hand pass away to Langdon, who kicks out wide to right half forward, and Alex Neil-Bullen takes the mark. Just a couple of metres in from the boundary and the 50-metre arc. I think this would take his absolute best.
McInnes has gone straight to Oliver. It'd be interesting to see if the Melbourne teammates actually help Oliver out and gets a body on McInnes at some stage.
Under the Shane Warne stand, he drives it towards the top of the goal square. Gawn comes charging out, can't quite take the mark. He landed awkwardly. A chance for the Hawks as D'Ambrosio gets the hand pass away. Ginnivan gets the hand pass away to Weddle. He's corralled and has to go back to Newcombe, and now to Weddle at right half back for the Hawks.
Weddle fires off a hand pass to Warple. Dinky kick down the boundary to Ginnivan. He moves the ball further into play on the AFL logo. Mays at the back, slips through his fingertips. Chol chases after it for Hawthorn. Can't gather. Neil-Bullen's back there for Melbourne. Hand passes to Tom McDonald, right in the middle of the MCG. Fires off a pass to Fritsch through his fingertips. Petrarca's there to pick up. Puts the ball inside 50 for Melbourne. Will it be a mark taken? No, it'll be paid. Mark will be taken to Petty in his first game back for Melbourne this season.
It's great to see Petty back in the team. He was in career best form when he got injured. He was actually like the shining light for Melbourne's forward line at that point in time. So let's hope he can get back to something close to that form pretty quickly.
So a tough angle for Petty to kick to, kicking towards the punt road end of the MCG. But from only about 15 metres out on his approach now. Skips in. Low kick is offline. So not the dream start for Petty, just the one behind for Melbourne after 2.5 minutes in the opening quarter.
The Hawks will want to try and move it with speed as they bring it back into play. Amon takes the mark in the left back pocket. He works it up to Hardwick. If you want to join us on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Let us know where you're listening from and your name. As Hardwick comes in and Weddle takes the mark inside the defensive 50. He's going to go all the way back to 15 metres out at the punt road end in front of his defensive goal. Carl Amon takes the mark, works it to Sicily. Kicks up to right half back, D'Ambrosio marks. The former Bomber thought about going short to Sicily. That option closes up now. So looks into the middle of the ground. It's a risky kick. He turns it over. Missed Warple. Neil-Bullen marks for Melbourne. Hand pass to Chandler. Chips it inside 50. Petrarca marks directly in front. 45 metres out.
Defensive action there by Melbourne's just exceptional. Hawthorn tried to chip short through their defensive 50. Melbourne very quick to cover ground and disallow any easy exits, forcing that short 50-50 kick and then the turnover. 29 disposals and a goal, plus 3 goal assists for Christian Petrarca last week against the Western Bulldogs. Here's the player whose game could rise to an absolute new level. Looking for the opening goal of the match here. Petrarca comes in from 48 metres out and he misses to the right-hand side. Melbourne 2 behinds to Hawthorn yet to score. 4 minutes gone. Live footy on ABC Sport.
One of the reasons why Hawthorn had to chip the ball around was Marbior Chol was 2 kicks away from the football, so he couldn't go long, and Reeves was standing in the middle of the ground. One of them has to be an option for the bailout kick.
Carl Amon brings the ball out all the way to centre wing, southern side of the ground. Hand pass from Bruce, gets to Mitch Lewis. Hurries a kick forward to half forward, goes past Chol. Warple running onto it. He can pick it up cleanly. He's got to get a hand pass away. He puts it into some space where Oliver's back for Melbourne. Hand passes in front of Neil-Bullen in the right back pocket. Hand passes towards Rivers, drops the footy. Warple comes in again for Hawthorn. And then it's stolen back by Melbourne as McVee gets the hand pass away to Langdon. And there'll be a mark taken by Brown, right half back for Melbourne, leading by that 2 points 5 minutes into the first quarter.
The voice of Lauren Borden alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Andrew Mays down on the boundary. Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke, your experts. The kick up towards Max Gawn. It's spoiled away by Sicily. Petrarca gathers for Melbourne. Hand pass to Viney into the middle of the ground. He releases Neil Bullen, who wants to switch it to the members' side. They're not officiating up with a whistle. Melbourne will take the advantage as Windsor claim the mark. From the wing, kicks inside 50. Petty the target. Great work racing back. Carl Amon made the spoil. Impey trying to provide support. Amon's hand pass was too slick. Straight to the path of Cosy Pickett, who bounces end over end. And finally, Melbourne have their first. Another skill error from the Hawks, and Melbourne make them pay. 5.5 minutes gone. The Demons 1-2-8 to Hawthorn yet to score.
Clayton Oliver was felled behind play. There's a little bit of push and shove, Burke. I'm not sure where it came from.
He looks okay. There's a trainer doctor just checking him out, but that was the behind the play umpire saw it.
So it was Ned Reeves who was just stopping Clary's run, and I don't think Clary was quite ready for it, so caught him slightly off guard. Doesn't appear to be anything too much in it. But when the ball's bumbling around like that deep in the forward half for Melbourne, you've got Cosy Pickett loose, Petrarca loose. Invariably it's going to end in one way.
So Melbourne up by 8 points early in the match. Hawthorn yet to score so far. As Reeves is back in the ruck against Gawn. It's Reeves that gets the tap out. Petrarca tries to pick it up off the ground. It's Warple that goes in. McKenzie, who fires a hand pass out behind him to the sound of Reeves. He hand passes to Ward, who's rucked up by Petrarca the moment he gets the footy. And we'll have a ball up just outside the two centre circles, and a little bit of pushing and shoving going on as well. As the umpire gets set to restart the play again. Reeves taps it down straight into the ground, and McKenzie runs after it. He can't pick it up. Langdon's there for Melbourne. And passes it away, but it'll be a free kick going the way of McKenzie of the Hawks.
He looks left and then looks right, trying to find an avenue forward. Melbourne have protected the centre square well. So tries to dance around Clayton Oliver on the mark. Kicks out to the Shane stand side, where the mark is taken by Ward. Just attacking half of the wing. But nothing really further afield that he likes. So he's going to switch it all the way back to Scrimshaw at centre half back. He has 15 metres of space. Now to the Hawthorn captain, Sicily. Looks up towards half forward. Running into space is Weddle. He marks it right half forward. And now the kick inside 50. Sets a challenge for Hardwick, and getting back Lever. The Melbourne defender gets a fist onto it to see it out of play. Throw in under the Ponsford stand. It's Melbourne who lead by 8 points. Sandra Mays on the boundary.
Yeah, just watching Clayton Oliver at every stoppage, he's got 2 or 3 Hawks for company. So definitely team instruction to get body on him at every opportunity.
Thanks, Maisie. You can see McGuinness on him now as the ball's tossed back in. It's Neil Bullen who kicks out down the wing. He was looking for Langdon, who couldn't mark. Hawthorn will steal it back here by Newcombe. Goes back and then hand passes defensively to Sicily, who kicks the ball forward to Impey, who marks 20 metres ahead of him.
Hawthorn trying to control their entries inside 50. With Lever and May long down the line, they don't want to be bombing it into their advantage.
And Impey is slow to move the ball on. He will kick the ball inside 50, though. Mark couldn't be taken by McDonald. He rose for it. Ginnivan's on his hands and knees, trying to get the ball, tap it out. Plenty of congestion surrounding the footy inside Hawthorn's defensive 50. Players putting their hands up, waiting for the umpire to cross his arms, and that's exactly what he'll do. And we'll have a ball up 40 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. They're yet to score. It's Melbourne leading by 8 points.
That's all I want to see Ned Reeves really make himself an option and make Max Gawn defend. At the moment, he's just standing in a hole, and Max is sort of going, yeah, okay, you don't really want the footy. I'll just read the ball coming in and get in the way. So Reeves really has to make himself a forward option. If Max goes with him, great. It leaves room for Lewis and these sort of fellas. But if he doesn't go with him, well, then maybe get on the scoreboard and kick a goal or two.
Clayton Oliver has a gash just below his left knee, and he kind of looked at the umpire and said, I have to come from the ground for that. Finn McGuinness escorted him off the ground as well. Thrown up with the Hawks deep in attack. Jack Viney lays the tackle on Jack Ginnivan, ensuring there's no way forward. And a ball up 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal, the city end of the MCG. Melbourne 1-2-8 to Hawthorn yet to score. Reeves and Gawn. Gawn beautifully palms it down to Viney. Kick smothered. Almost a chance for Watson. Couldn't take it cleanly. Ginnivan's in there. He's locked up by McVie. Ball spills clear. A chance for Neil Bullen. He's stripped over by McKenzie. Dylan Moore gets down low, trying to win it for the Hawks. Tight ball in congestion. Gathered by Sparrow. Gets the hand pass away. Windsor's quick hand pass to Viney. Off half back to Billings. And another involvement for the young Demon as Windsor kicks up towards half forward. Fritsch caught behind against Sicily. The reinforcements get back. Scrimshaw for Hawthorn. Hand pass to Frost, goes short to Sicily, who marks it right half back for Hawthorn.
Again, there's no one down the line. No tall players at all. They've got to go sideways or make something up. Just
I think that's the plan though, Berkey. They don't want to be kicking it long down the line to the advantage of May and Lever. With Gawn there as well, they need to change the angles and try and find that space.
If I'm Mitch Lewis, I'm probably saying, you know what, just take me off because you're not going to kick the ball to me.
So very slowly the Hawks switch sides to the southern side of the MCG. Scrimshaw holding the footy centre wing. He chips it just 15 maybe to Nash, who then chips it into the centre square to Frost. So a lot of chip kicks here, and they've finally made it across back to the MCC side of the ground to Sicily. He goes forward this time and finds Newcomb. He's happy to hand pass quickly to McKenzie. Hand passes to Nash right in the middle of a couple of Ds. Can put the kick inside 50, where he's able to find Watson sitting alone free in the right forward pocket.
So I think that's going to be the MO for Hawthorn today. That type of stagnant, frustrating ball movement, when they can find those little overlap plays with Sicily and Nash and somehow Watson on his own.
He had a couple of shots from this area last week, wasn't able to convert, and still Watson is without a goal in his AFL career. He misses to the right-hand side. It's Hawthorn's first score of the afternoon. They're one behind, playing Melbourne's 1-2 after 11 minutes in the first term.
You're right, Liza. Kicked 3 behinds last week and 1 to start this afternoon. The Hawks would love that to get them underway. His first goal he's still looking for in AFL footy. Lever with a long raking kick up to the wing, and Keziah Pickett rises. Takes the mark over D'Ambrosio. They're on the break here, Melbourne. Petty marks it right half forward. The contrast, how easily Melbourne are moving it. As Petty looks and comes inboard to Viney. He claims it's still 70 metres out from goal. On the Shane Warne stand side, veers out to the left, points in the direction in which he heads. Max Gawn's pushed forward. It clears to the back. Fritsch marks, little shove on Sicily into the open goal, and Melbourne have their second. Bailey Fritsch kept goalless last week in their win over the Western Bulldogs. He's on the board early here. 12 minutes gone. Melbourne 2-2-14 to the Hawks, 1 behind. Live footy on ABC Sport.
So when the game is played on Melbourne's terms, that quick transition, that ball movement, Hawthorn are going to be in all sorts of trouble. So they need to try and slow it down, play some tempo football.
The problem with them all just spreading out for the chip kick, as soon as the ball turns over, they're out of position. They're not on their players. And that's going to be Melbourne's idea. Okay, you can chip around. You might have 3, 4, 5 chips in a row, but eventually you're going to muck it up. And all of your... there's a free kick in the middle of the ground.
His free kick was for Sicily getting dropped after that goal was kicked.
So it was Chol who had the free in the middle, and then he kicked out wide to Sicily. And he chipped further towards the boundary to Weddle. He was just kicked slightly forward to D'Ambrosio. He's between wing and half forward for the Hawks. Again with this slow build-up inside 50. As he kicks towards McDonald, coming across was Fritsch just to punch the ball out of bounds. He gets a cheer from the Melbourne fans. Kicking the most recent goal, then punching the ball out of bounds for a throw-in. So right in front of the MCC stand, about maybe 40,000 in at the moment at the MCG. The umpire will toss the ball in when Royan and Chol in the ruck. Chol taps it forward. Nash chasing after it, can't gather. Good work from Windsor, the young player, to worry him out of it. Hand pass goes across to Sparrow, then across to Van Royen. Long kick down to half forward for the Ds. Fritsch was there. That was who the kick was intended for. But it's Scrimshaw that comes across for the Hawks.
He turns and looks into the corridor where Carl Amon takes the mark for Hawthorn. Pickett charging at him. Just put him off his kick out in front of McKenzie, who's ringed into the turf by Pickett. Ball spills clear. Carl Amon gathers for Hawthorn. Swings onto his left. Almost run down. A great desperate effort by Langdon. It spills out to Salem and Melbourne. The D's take the turnover. Langdon receives the hand pass. Short to Billings. Centre wing on the Shane Warne stand side. Drives it inside 50. One-on-ones inside. But Sicily charges in front of Bailey Fritsch and takes the mark in front of Ben Brown.
It was poor kicking. There was 2-on-2 inside forward 50 from Melbourne, and it put it to the advantage of the Hawthorn player. Didn't give his forwards a chance, but that's what Melbourne want to do. Turn the ball over through the middle of the ground and then go quickly.
Sicily to Scrimshaw, to Finn McGuinness, and then to D'Ambrosio, who's going to switch it all the way back to the left back pocket where Carl Amon takes the mark. Moves it up to Josh Ward. And receives the kick and marks at left half back. Melbourne 2-2-14. So Hawthorn 1 behind. He kicks to half back where the mark is taken. Connor McDonald just had to hold his ground as Cosy Pickett came racing in late. Hawthorn at left half back.
Just move the ball to centre half back, where Scrimshaw will go even further defensively to Sicily. He'll take the mark, then go on a little bit of a run here and kick it down to D'Ambrosio, who marks right in front of Max Gawn, watching on the Melbourne bench. Fires a kick forward towards Weddle. And now Weddle's stuck in a little bit of a bother. He doesn't know where to go ahead, so he'll kick laterally again to Scrimshaw. You can hear the fans getting a little bit frustrated as well with how slow the ball's moving forward. Kick comes across to Frost, standing right at centre half back. He'll kick to the edge of the goal square to McDonald.
This game plan has to be a means to an end. I'm not sure what the end is at the moment, apart from not give Melbourne the ball. The end has to be, it's got to get into the forward 50 at some stage, at some point, not just to all have 30 possessions each.
So Lewis was all the way up at centre wing on the outer side of the ground to take the mark. Then he kicked back to Hardwick, centre half back to Sicily, who's now centre wing, broadcast side of the ground, gone down to half forward. D'Ambrosio running onto it. And at least the Hawks have gained a little bit of territory in that passage of play. They'll have a ball in at half forward for the Hawks. They're trailing by 13 points. Haven't kicked a goal yet. 16 minutes played in the first quarter.
We're at 79 disposals to 44 in Hawthorn's favour. That gives you some indication of Hawthorn trying to hold on to the ball, chipping it around.
Brad Saw with you on ABC Sport. Van Rooyen doing the ruck work, trying to get the hand pass to Sparrow. Little fumble for Melbourne. Oliver knocks it out, but straight to Nash of Hawthorn. His hand pass intercepted by Van Rooyen. Gets a hand pass to Sparrow. Back to Salem. Dragged down as he got his kick away up towards half forward. Going early was Frost. Couldn't take it. Fritsch for Melbourne. Knocks it into the path of Neil Bullen. Kicks up to Cozzy Pickett. He's 55 out. Vacant goalmouth. Gawn's racing back. Pickett's gone for home and bounces it through. Opening 3 goals the way of the Demons as Cozzy Pickett kicks his second. Sort of disguised that well. I think he wanted to put it out in front of Max Gawn, but really wanted to kick the goal. And the Demons with the early advantage here, leading by 19 points. Brad Saul and Nathan Burke with you on ABC Sport.
Quick sums here, Sully. Hawthorn have had 80 possessions and gone inside 54 times. Let's say they need a minimum of 40 inside 50s to win this game. That means they need 800 possessions.
I mean, we can see the game style that Hawthorn are trying to play. And every stoppage we've seen centre forward for Hawthorn, Melbourne midfield has just been too strong to be able to win the contested ball, then chain out, which invariably almost led to a goal each time.
So back in the middle, Gawn taps it down. Oliver picks it up, hand passes to Petrarca. Gawn gets there first and just taps it forward. Picked up by Amon of the Hawks. Then Viney swipes in for Melbourne. Hand pass to Oliver. He puts a hand pass in front of Petrarca, who keeps running. Hand passes across to Billings, who kicks towards goals for Melbourne. It's another one for the D's. So the D's with another goal. They're 4th of the quarter. Hawthorn yet to score one. The lead extends to 25 points, 4-26 to Hawthorn, just that one behind. Let's head down to Andrew Mays on the boundary.
Yeah, you might have heard a second whistle in the play there after that mark. It was actually advantage being played because Oliver again was checked after he gave that hand pass to Petrarca. Just a little one in the ribs, and that's why he was on the ground as that goal was going through.
Well, he was too by Jyden Newcombe, it looks like. So he was just down for a little bit.
With a bump after he'd got rid of the hand pass, so the call was probably there. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Bill says, rough up Sicily, get the pressure off Clayton Oliver, win-win. And Julia in Summers says, go D's. Let's see some more of that premiership form, no more behinds.
Hawthorn are trying to be tough, and they've laid 4 tackles. It's 18-4 tackles so far in this quarter. That's not tough.
Reeves one down the tap, but it's Clayton Oliver for Melbourne. Hand pass away to Petrarca. Hand pass to Salem. Kicks out towards left half forward. Billings gathers for Melbourne. Hand pass to Viney. All on his own. Cozzy Pickett leads out and marks in the left forward pocket. They'll have to kick every bit of 50, but just far too easy for Melbourne. He's going to kick into the pocket, looking for Neil Bullen. Can't take the mark. Good closing speed by Jarman Impey, who spoils it out of play. Under the Olympic stand in the left forward pocket for the Demons, heading into the punt road in this opening quarter. Melbourne by 25 points.
So ball tossed in, gone with front position, puts it down. Amon was there. Petrarca comes in, weaves his way through some traffic. Not the greatest hand pass for Fritsch. He can't get out of a tackle. Hand passes back to Oliver, who's streaming through, puts it in his right boot, tries to curl it through. He can't. Right in the goal square. Langdon will trap it. Left boot, can't get it. Fritsch is there. He puts it through the goals.
Now, it might be a free kick of some sort.
The umpire and the goal umpire will come together and confer here.
Everyone kind of stopped, expecting it was a free kick, and I think the umpire might pay advantage.
Umpire's call is a goal. Can you please make sure it went through the goal?
So it'll be a score review, so potentially they're checking for a hand on the kick as well.
So I think it was a Melbourne free kick in the kerfuffle, and everybody stopped except for the Melbourne player with the ball. I think they're checking whether it hit the post, which, by the looks of that, it didn't.
Which is what you meant to do, isn't it, Berkey? You would have told players that, just keep playing, ignore the whistle.
Especially these days.
These angles, we can see there's no spike on edge. The ball passes the post. Decision on the scoreboard.
So it is a goal to Bailey Fritsch in the end, his second goal. As he kind of shrugs his shoulders, walking back to his position. It's Melbourne now 4 goals to 26, leading Hawthorn just that one behind. It's a 25-point lead. 21 minutes gone in the first quarter now.
The Demons have had 10 inside 50s for 7 scoring shots. Just absolutely doing as they wish.
Could be a big afternoon. Mo from Melbourne poses the question, has a player who's completed less than half a pre-season ever won a Brownlow? Clary Oliver is looking pretty good. Certainly getting plenty of attention today with McGuinness alongside him.
He's up to 7 already. Petrarca with 7, Neil Bullen with 7. Keziah Pickett, he's the one for me that's really cutting them up. He's had the 5, but every single one of them has almost ended in a goal.
So Melbourne with the opening 5 goals of the match, and Sam Mitchell has some issues. Bounce sprays out to the left. It's going to be recalled. And will be thrown up in the middle of the MCG. Beautiful 20 degrees in Melbourne this afternoon. Cool autumn breeze as it's thrown in the air. Reeves tried to use his knee. High contact. Melbourne free kick. Advantage taken by Christian Petrarca. Kicks inside 50 towards Petty and Sicily. He was held by Harrison Petty in the eyes of the umpire, and the Hawthorn captain will take the free kick in the right back pocket. He's got the long sleeves, like Jack Ginnivan this afternoon.
Shielding his eyes as well from the sun as he chips forward to Impey and then keeps running to receive the hand pass back. Right on the boundary line, kicks forward. Rivers had front position, couldn't take the mark though for Melbourne. It'll be Watson emerges with it for Hawthorn. Hand pass to Reeves, hand passes to Warple, goes into the centre of the ground to Hardwick, who then kicks back into defensive 50, putting it in front of Scrimshaw. Now on the southern side of the MCG, Scrimshaw will kick long down the line where he can find Moore. Right at centre wing, this time Moore wants to play on quickly and he can kick it to Ginnivan, who marks, hand passes to McKenzie, hand passes to Moore. And then Moore goes back to Ginnivan. He'll kick now to half forward for the Hawks, and it'll be a mark now. Taken by McDonald, he plays on it, hits the back of Petrarca. Reeves will pick it up though, just hurries a kick inside 50 for Hawthorn. And it's Howe sitting back there for the D's to take the intercept mark.
Smart play by Petrarca. He was just trailing his player on the way past. Noticed that the umpire called play on and dived back for the smother.
Blake Howes in his 3rd game goes short to Chandler and now to Jake Lever, who marks at right half back. Melbourne 5-2-32 to Hawthorn 1 behind. As Lever kicks as far as he can up the wing. Van Rooyen's the target. Scrimshaw makes the spoil for Hawthorn, then gathers, spins out of traffic, kicks to Ginnivan. He marks between wing and half forward for the Hawks on the southern side of the MCG. As Mitch Lewis deepest. At the moment he's looking for options more centrally than that. Kicks towards Marbiel Chol. Max Gawn sets himself. Can't take the mark. The Melbourne captain gathers. Hand pass to Langdon. Little slow getting rid of it. Tackle by Moore. Play on's the call. Bruce tries to knock it clear. It spills back to Dylan Moore. He can't brush the tackle. Jake Lever picks up the loose footy. Hand pass to Viney. Gets it away to House. He's almost brought down by Ginnivan. Gets the hand pass at the last moment to Langdon. He runs the boundary line at halfback. Kicks up towards Ben Brown. Can't take the mark with Frost in front of him. It spills to the back. Chandler's onto it. Hand pass trying to link up with Van Rooyen, who now becomes the tackler on Sicily and locks the ball up on the outer wing. Melbourne by 31 points, 24 minutes gone, opening term.
Dangerous spot here for Hawthorn. Melbourne have won 9-1 clearances.
Umpire tosses the ball up, goes through the legs of Sparrow. Walpole has it, dispossessed. Viney comes in. Dinky kick forward. It's picked up by Chandler. Hand passes to Neil Bullen. Hand passes across to Windsor. Then Neil Bullen gets it back, puts the D's inside 50. Petrarca all alone, slipped through his fingers. Then he's tackled and has to hand pass out quickly, looking for Langdon, but Walpole's there for the Hawks, and he can hand pass across to Mackenzie as the Hawks look to get out of defence.
Trying to find a way around Max Gawn, who put in a lunging effort to lay a tackle, knocking it on Sparrow for Melbourne, gets it to Langdon, hand pass to Tom McDonald, drives a kick inside 50. Penny comes charging out and takes the mark, crashing the pack over the top of Ben Brown. And this is what he can do, which had Melbourne fans, as Nathan Burke said, excited in the back edges of last season. Kicked 6 goals in a match and then kicked 2 the following week, so 8 goals in 2 weeks, but hadn't been seen since August last year.
It's just complete and utter dominance by Melbourne at the moment. The defensive system is completely stifling Hawthorn. Their inability to move through that is glaring, and on the rebound, Melbourne have been so dangerous.
Adelaide asked the question of Harrison Petty in the off-season. The Demons weren't interested. Kicking for his first, out to the right, just inside 50. Petty sets sight, it's online, but rushed through in the end. Ned Reeves on the goal line sees it through for a minor score. Melbourne 5-3-33 to Hawthorn 1 behind. 26 minutes gone opening term. Earlier, it was Fremantle winners by 26 points over North Melbourne.
Carl Amon again with kicking duties, goes towards the Shane Warne stand of the MCG. It was Chol there in a battle against Tom McDonald. And it'll be a holding free going the way of the Hawk. So Chol will have the footy now, left half back. First season in Hawks colours. And again, he's just waiting to see what he likes ahead of him, but he'll go long down the wing. Ginnivan had front position, but Rivers sat at the back for the D's and takes the mark. Then kicks towards centre half back where he finds May, who chips right into the middle of the MCG to Neil Bullen. Hand pass across to a running Viney. Kicks 20 metres forward towards Brown, takes it on the half volley. Then hand passes to Neil Bullen, who falls over, has time to compose himself though. Kick out wide in front of the Melbourne bench towards Billings. Holds the footy right in front of his team's bench. His side ahead by 32 points late in the first quarter.
Billings goes short. Caleb wins it, takes them up. Might have had the haircut during the week, Sully, just to shorten the sides. Hard to miss.
Going to go back next week and get the rest done.
I think that's the look these days, Burke. He kicks towards Max Gawn. He's caught behind and Sicily takes the mark. Gawn crashes into him just to let him know that he had to earn it. Sicily slowly gets to his feet. Bit of a tangle at the moment with Blake Hardwick, who tried to come in to fly the flag for his Hawthorn captain, and Sicily stepped off his mark. He played on, kicks around his body up towards half back. Good mark in the end. Reaching up, Finn McGuinness takes the mark at right half back for Hawthorn. Still searching for their first goal of the match. Hand pass back to the Hawthorn captain, Sicily. Kicks up the members' wing in the direction of Watson the Wizard. He can't take the mark, and Lever over the top spoils it out of play. A boundary throw in front of the 2 benches. Melbourne by 32 points.
Well, Hawks have kicked the ball long twice. Marby or Chol on the other side kicked it to Ginnivan against 3 Melbourne defenders, and that time they've kicked the ball long to Watson.
So ball tossed in, Gawn just takes it out of the ruck, then loses the footy. B. McGuinness running onto it, and then Petrarca. Siren sounds to mark the first quarter. And it was all Melbourne in that quarter. Hawthorn just struggling to get it inside 50. 5 straight goals to the D's, meaning they lead by 32 points at quarter time. 5-3-33 to just the 1 behind to Hawthorn. Goal kickers for the D's, Bailey Fritsch with a couple, Keziah Pickett with a couple as well, and Jack Billings with 1.
So the Demons by 32 points at quarter time. Earlier at Docklands, it was the Fremantle Dockers who kicked 12 of the last 15 goals of the match to run out 26-point winners over North Melbourne. Fremantle 15-12, 102 to North 11-10, 76, in which Taberner, Frederick, Jackson and Banfield all kicked 2 goals. Caleb Sarong, another standout performance with 35 disposals. We'd love to hear from you on the SMS 0437 774 774, as Matt from Fulham in South Australia has done so. Hi team, been listening to the ABC Sport via the ABC Listen app. Great work, Matt. Lovely to hear. Big win by Freo, and sounds like the same for the D's coming up. Power will be up for the same tomorrow. So Matt, who is a Port Adelaide fan, yes, the Power in action. Travis Boak's 350th match taking on the Tigers. Adamuze still searching for their first win. And also a cheerio to Richard, who's in the car wash in Whyalla with the headphones on, listening via the ABC Listen app. I did a bit of that myself this morning, Loz, while I was doing the vacuuming. Listened to the Freo North game. It came through crystal clear. Saturday afternoon footy coming to you on ABC Sport via ABC Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app. Just look for the AFL button.
G'day, this is Becky Cole inviting you to join me each week for Saturday Night Country. For more than 30 years, we've been playing the best in Australian country music, as well as the overseas artists that you know and love. So whether it's the classic tunes that you grew up with, the best new releases, or the interviews of your favourite acts, you'll find it all on Saturday Night Country. Saturday Night Country. Hear it anytime on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
From the wing, kicks inside 50, Penny the target. Great work racing back. Carl Amon made the spoil. Impey trying to provide support. Amon's hand pass was too slick. Straight to the path of Gossie Pickett, who bounces end over end. And finally Melbourne have their first. Claims it's still 70 metres out from goal. Shane Warne stands side, veers out to the left, points in the direction in which he heads. Max Gawn's pushed forward, it clears to the back. French marks, little shove on Sicily, into the open goal, and Melbourne have their second. Going early was Frost, couldn't take it. Fridge for Melbourne, knocks it into the path of Neil Bullen, kicks up to Cossie Pickett. He's 55 out, vacant goalmouth. Gawn's racing back, Pickett's gone for home and bounces it through.
Up by A1 of the Hawks, then Viney swipes in for Melbourne, hand pass to Oliver. He puts a hand pass in front of Petrarca, who keeps running to Billings, who kicks towards goals for Melbourne. It's another one for the D's.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
Great to have your company for Saturday afternoon footy. It's Melbourne who lead by 32 points, 5-3-33 to the Hawks, one behind. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Andrew Mays down on the boundary. The thoughts of Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke with you.
Berkey, complete dominance by Melbourne. It's pretty clear what Hawthorn were trying to do, just in terms of basically playing keepings off, not wanting to go long down the line at any point in time, recognising May, Lever, Max Gawn playing right into their strengths. But Hawthorn don't have the acumen and the experience to be able to chip the ball around laterally and decide when to go through, move the ball quickly and break the lines. And Melbourne, when they got their chance, when the ball was then ultimately, a stoppage was caused around the centre line or it went out of bounds, their clearance work was just extraordinary. 11-1 clearances in Melbourne's fashion. So Hawthorn didn't give themselves a chance at all because they just got smashed around the ball. Oliver, Petrarca, Viney, who else? Because Pickett, they were all just fantastic and made the most of the opportunities when they went inside 50.
Grumpy Berkey's going to come out now.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. And you caught me old-fashioned here, but I watched Hawthorn come into their huddle. And I don't know whether it's just a young group and, trying to get each other up or anything, but every single player pretty much made an effort to high-five every other player. And you normally do that when you are 5 goals to 1 behind at quarter time. There was nobody going, guys, this is crap, this is terrible. We're 5 goals down. We've laid 7 tackles for the quarter and we're getting smashed 11-1, but it was high five, or some players are actually jogging around, high five and patting everyone on the backside. That's not when you're 5 goals down. You're not doing that sort of stuff. To me, the way that they're playing, keeping's off, don't play into Melbourne's hands, fine, but it has to be a means to an end. The end has to be to get the ball inside 50 and to a scoring part of the ground. And that's what's missing at the moment. Yeah, great. Sicily's had 15 touches. He's going to have 85 by the end of the game, and they're going to get beaten by 20 goals. Whoop-de-doo. I just think if this is the instructions they're doing at the moment, and Mitchell comes out and says, yeah, boys, let's stick at it, well, then something needs to occur, because if I'm Hawthorn coming in going, boys, that is not how we wanted to play. We've overblown it. We've overdone it. When you are free, you've got to get the ball going forward, because you're relying on Melbourne defenders to make an absolute error and leave one of your forwards free all by themselves, and that's not going to happen. They're too experienced for that. Melbourne aren't going to make that sort of blue often enough for you to win this game, so I want to see how Mitchell has got them to change the way that they're playing in this second quarter. Otherwise, I'm going home at half-time.
Look out. Second quarter underway. The bounce should have been recalled as it sprayed out to the left. It wasn't. Connor Nash can't break clear. Tackled by Clayton Oliver. They wrestle forward at ground level. It's Keziah Pickett for Melbourne. Hand pass to Sparrow to Max Gawn, the rover. 55 metres out. Kicks to the pocket looking for Fridge. Can't take the mark. Charging out. Frost spoils it down for Hawthorn. Hand pass to Billings. Slipping over was Fridge. Gets the hand pass away to Van Rooyen. Back to Billings. Around his body towards the teeth of goal. Petty spoils it down. Pickett overran the footy for Melbourne. Onto it Scrimshaw for the Hawks. Hand pass away to Finn McGuinness. Chips it out to the left half back where Connor McDonald takes the mark.
He's got room to move along the wing, runs forward, then kicks in front of him. Was looking for more, falls behind him to McVee of Melbourne. Hand passes to Rivers, hand passes to Langdon, taken in a McKenzie tackle the moment he gets the ball.
It's better intent by Hawthorn. Just the initial scrimmage at the centre bounce, the ability to lock up that tackle. We didn't see that in the first quarter.
So it'll be a ball up centre wing, members side of the MCG. Gordon Reeves had it in the ruck, falls down to Warple, tried to kick it away, couldn't. Reeves again goes at it. He's on the ground and he's being tackled by Oliver and held there. The umpire will come up and throw the ball up. Still centre wing, broadcast side of the ground.
No shortage of other sporting action taking place. We'll bring you up to speed in just a moment. The Formula One at Albert Park is gathered by Menzies, dodging and weaving at left half back. He decides to cut back with his right. It's not a bad option as he kicks to Reeves, takes the mark on his chest. Hand pass to Connor Nash, kicks up towards Hardwick, lost it in the sun. So did Tom McDonald. Hardwick back onto it from 48, a flying shot, bounces out of play and bounces into the right behind post. A boundary throw in. So in the golden slipper for Gai Waterhouse, it was Lady Camelot and Adrian Bott, ridden by Blake Shin. So an 8th slipper for Gai Waterhouse, and Max Verstappen has taken pole for the Australian Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz joins him on the front row. Sergio Perez in 3rd. Oscar Piastri will start from 6th, and Daniel Ricciardo in 18th.
32 points for margin. Ball tossed in. Langdon can get a hand pass across. It'll be stolen here though by Moore. He'll have a kick for goals for the Hawks. It won't even make the distance. Gone will stand back there on the last line of defence to take the intercept mark. So Hawthorn still not adding to that one behind scored by Watson at the 11-minute mark of the first term. Trailing by 32 points, has gone with a long kick out of defence. It's marked by Petrarca. Left half back for the D's. And this time it's Melbourne just taking their time to move it along the MCG, ahead by 32 points early in the second quarter.
Possession number 11 coming up to join Alex Neil-Bullen as the leading disposal getter for Melbourne. Up towards half forward. Fritsch caught behind, lays a big tackle on Sicily. Ragdolls him to the turf, and the umpire will ball it up at left half forward for Melbourne.
Might be the time of day we're playing, but that's the second player we've seen lose the ball in the sun, right about centre half forward at the punt road end.
Thrown up Reeves and Gawn. Gawn wins it, but Reeves is able to do the roving hand pass away to D'Ambrosio, back to Reeves, all in tight confinement. Hand pass to Newcomb, kicks a high ball up the wing. Flying in the pack is Mitch Lewis, brought it down to the front, beautifully gathered by Finn McGuinness. Gets the hand pass away to Watson, kicked it straight into McGuinness. Momentum lost. Oliver gets down low, wins it for Melbourne. Quick hand pass back to May, links it up with Windsor. Here go the Demons. Hand pass into the middle of the ground. It bounces away from Billings. He gathers back to Windsor, kicks towards the teeth of goal. Sicily's the one hawk amongst two Demons. Petty races after it, racing back. Jarman Impey provides the support. Hand pass back to Sicily, tackled by Windsor, gets the hand pass away. Impey hard against the boundary, taps it to his own advantage. Hand pass too slick for Weddle, has to try and knock it clear, only as far as House of Melbourne. He knocks it on to Petty, back to House, goes for goal. It's not going to quite have the journey. And Scrimshaw takes the mark at the top of the defensive goal square.
Scrimshaw quickly to D'Ambrosio, who puts a 50-metre kick down to the outer wing of the ground. Mark taken by Hardwick, but now he's got to stop. After the quick move, and he had no one ahead of him, and now he'll have to move it slowly. Down the wing, chipping it forward. Aylwin has it. And he'll put it in the path of Reeves, who went up. Kick was affected, though. It'll find its way to Warple. Just at the top of the 50, it'll be a mark to Weddle. To McDonald, rather. So, finally a set shot now for Hawthorn, as they went a little bit quicker. And McDonald will have it from directly in front, 35 metres out.
Certainly been happy to go quicker forward, Hawthorn, but they've been winning the 50-50 contests. Their tackles are sticking. They've been more competitive in the clearance work around the stoppages. That's been the difference so far in this quarter.
So McDonald to kick the Hawks first of the day. He's got it. Finally, Hawthorn have a major on the board for the afternoon, coming at the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. And coming from McDonald, his first of the year as well. So Hawthorn now move to 1-1-7. It's Melbourne 5-3-33. It's still Melbourne leading by 26 points in the second quarter.
How's Grumpy Berkey now? Is he a bit better?
He's getting there. Clearances are 2-all this quarter, but I think the intent from the Hawks players around that particular when it's scrambling around, they're not all just waiting for the ball to come out to them. I've seen them actually flying a bit harder and looking like they're not happy with the situation, which is good to see.
Nathan Burke alongside Brad Sewell, Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Andrew Mays down on the boundary. Fremantle winners by 26 points over North Melbourne. Tonight it's Sydney and Essendon from the Harbour City. The Demons by 26 points here at the G. Bounce back in the middle. Van Rooyen's into the ruck up against Chol. Van Rooyen takes it out of the ruck, kicks up towards Neil Bullen at half forward. Can't take the mark, but he's back onto it. Hand pass to Sparrow. Links up with Oliver, trying to take on the tackler, brought down by Nash. Just got the hand pass away. Neil Bullen with the hand pass back to Van Rooyen for Melbourne. Inside 50, Cosy Pickett at full flight, charging out. Had Hardwick on his tail and he was able to hang on to the catch. He marks pretty much directly in front, 45 metres out from goal.
Really had no right to mark that ball then, because as the ball left the boot, I think probably Hardwick was in the better position, but within 2-3 steps Pickett had gotten himself to the front position and took the ball down low. He's just so quick in those first couple of steps.
Van Rooyen's kick was spinning in all different directions. Cosy Pickett kicking for his third from inside 50. He is lighting up the MCG. And Melbourne's forward line looks a lot better when he is firing. The Demons answer straight back after the McDonald goal at the other end. 7 minutes gone, second quarter. Melbourne 6-3-39 to Hawthorn 1-1-7. The Demons by 32 points. Cosy Pickett with his third.
It certainly makes it different to Melbourne's forward line, but I'd also say their midfield as well, and the team more broadly. He's such an igniter. He's such an exciting player as a small forward, constantly moving. He's got explosive speed and power, and even when he's out of position, as we just saw, he finds a way to get in front, and we've certainly seen on many occasions how damaging he is when he's in the centre square, and not on this occasion he won't be, but Melbourne is a much better side when Cosy Pickett's up and about.
Looking forward to seeing what he'll be like alongside Shane McAdam, who they recruited from Adelaide as well. Bit of a forgotten forward.
So ball tossed back up in the middle, and it will be a free going against the Hawks.
I think they're going to run up again.
Recall the bounce. Chol wasn't happy with that. He was happy to keep going with it. But pretty windy in the middle of the MCG as the ball's tossed up. Chol's there again, tackles Van Rooyen, and the umpire will cross his arms and have another ball up right in the middle of the MCG.
I don't know if he's done a lot of ruck work, Van Rooyen. Probably played mainly as a forward, but he's doing a good job. He's got some good skills.
Just giving Max Gawn a chop out as he taps the ball away. Viney has it, and it'll be Chol wrapping Viney up this time. So third time in the middle of the ground. The MCG, both sides, just trying to move it out of this centre. As the umpire tosses the ball up, and he's found a free kick, so the ball will be moved out. It's Neil Bullen who takes advantage for the D's. Kicks Melbourne inside 50, looking for Chandler. Weddle was at the back, stuck one arm out to take the mark. He's got a free, and it'll be the Hawks that play on here. Hand pass to Scrimshaw, hand pass out wide to McKenzie. Who'll go back, of course, to Sicily, who'll rack up another disposal.
Sicily into the middle of the ground, kicks forward, Scholl can't take the mark, and Van Rooyen is able to control it. Takes it on the second bite, kicks inside 50, Petty the target, can't claim the mark, flying from behind. Chandler tries to rip it away from Weddle. The two tangle and are locked inside the forward 50 for Melbourne at the city end. It's the Demons by 32 points.
Those last two kicks inside 50 for Melbourne haven't been the best. They've had three players, but they've given the Hawthorn defenders the advantage.
Chol down to Newcombe for the Hawks. Kick is smothered by Neil Bullen. Viney tries to gather the loose ball. Knocked it into the path of Sparrow. He tries to lick up with Rivers. A chance for the Hawks. Weddle cannon into. Salem lays the bump. Wins the ball back for Melbourne. Neil Bullen's hand pass is too loose, and it misses Salem and Billings and goes out of play. Under the Ponsard stand, right half forward for the Demons. They lead by 32 points.
It's pretty hot out there. There's not a lot of room, but I must say, it's not the greatest spectacle of handballing that I've ever seen. A lot of missing the target.
So Nathan Beck on ABC Sport as the umpire tosses the ball back in. Chol and Van Rooyen both in the ruck at the moment. Down the ground, Weddle can get it up and hand pass it towards Newcombe. Neil Bullen goes in for Melbourne, still weaving his way through some Melbourne Hawks traffic until he's held up, and Weddle will get the footy at the back, shoves it on the boot for Hawthorn, sends it towards McDonald. Can't mark in the centre square, and it means Melbourne will be able to get the ball away here by McVee, who gets it to May, and he'll go long down the broadcast wing. Nash punches it away for the Hawks. Oliver taps it to Petty. He has it, and then he's tackled to the ground. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up on the shade of the broadcast wing. It's 10 minutes gone in this second term. It's Melbourne ahead by game high 32 points.
Thrown up. Van Rooyen tries to take it out of the ruck against Marbiel Chol. Taps it down. Sparrow has it locked to his chest as Chol and Nash lay the tackle. Eventually it comes clear. Nash can't break away as Van Rooyen lays the tackle. It's all taking place on the members' wing with Melbourne leading by 32 points. Sicily with 17 disposals. Scrimshaw with 12. Weddle with 10 for the Hawks. For Melbourne, Neil Bullen with 16. Petrarca with 11. And Oliver with 10. Chandler tries to knock it out for Melbourne. The ball moves from centre wing to half forward for the Demons, but Nash is over the top. Oliver and Finn McGuinness are never too far apart as the umpire eventually comes in to separate them to throw the ball aloft.
So Van Rooyen and Chol tangle again. Warple gets the footy, tries to fend off Van Rooyen, could get a hand pass to McKenzie, but two Ds dive on top of him. We'll have another stoppage.
Van Rooyen has given Chol an absolute bath in the ruck here. He's got nearly every tip out. Now, Chol got that one, I think, but he's chopped him every single time.
Sparrow gets the kick just inside 50. Hardwick sits back there for the Hawks and takes the mark, basically on the pain of 50. So he's now waiting for players to come ahead of him. We'll see now whether they take the slow approach, the Hawks, to get out of defence again.
Into the back pocket, Weddle kicks to Scrimshaw.
It's interesting to see whether Melbourne actually get a little bit closer to the Hawthorn opponents as well and just try and get the ball back a little bit quicker than what they did in that first quarter.
Scrimshaw to Hardwick, and then to Frost, gives the hand pass back to Hardwick, who was running boundary side at left half back, kicks up towards Scholl, out number 2 on 1. He did well to make a contest, brought it down, tries to break the McDonald tackle, really well done. Hand pass to Connor McDonald, to McKenzie, who arches the back, hand pass missed McGuinness, and McGuinness becomes the tackler on Howes. The ball to be thrown up in front of the Melbourne bench. The Demons by 32 points, a goal apiece in this second quarter after the Demons kicked the opening 5 goals of the match.
Reeves and Gordon back in the ruck now, very close to the boundary line. Ball's tossed up. Nash can't get a kick away. Sparrow can rather for the Ds. Skies the ball up high. Ball bounces over the boundary line. It'll be a free going away the Hawks, or did it bounce just before going over? So it was touched. So touched just before it went over, which means we'll have a throw in front of the Melbourne bench. Reeves and Gordon standing next to each other. Neil Bullen in a bit of space. It's both battle, and Reeves gets one hand to it towards Warple. It was a tough tap for him to make anything of, and he's tackled and brought to ground. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up again. So members' side of the MCG, 13 minutes gone in the second quarter. Melbourne with 1 goal, Hawthorn with 1 goal in this second quarter. It's the Ds by 32.
Reeves wins down the tap against Gawn. Non-officiating umpire says a Hawthorn free kick, and it's going to go the way of James Warple. He has it centre wing on the members' side. He drives it long inside 50 into the direction of Mitch Lewis. Can't take the mark. Ginnivan, the perfect roving. He misses across the face of goal. In fact, it might have just landed inside the boundary line in the right forward pocket for Hawthorn. Doesn't need a lot of the footy, Jack Ginnivan, but almost made something happen out of nothing there.
They've got Ginnivan, they've got Watson, they've got Dylan Moore down there, so they've got enough small players when the ball hits the ground. So just give them a chance, get the ball in there as quickly as you can.
Hawks deep in attack, tapped down by Gawn into the path of Marbiel Chol. He becomes the tackler. And Jack Viney, did Lever try and take on the tackle? Not in the eyes of the umpire. He'll ball it up still in the right forward pocket for the Hawks.
So second term definitely doesn't have that frantic nature of the first, which just saw Melbourne scoring goal after goal, a goal apiece at the moment. Hawthorn trying to get another one with the ball locked inside their end at the punt road, and Viney's all locked up with the footy, so the umpire will come and throw the ball up again. 30 metres out from the Hawks goal. Ball bounces in front of the two rucks, and it'll be a holding free going the way of the D's. So Max Gawn will receive the free kick. Melbourne captain standing 20 metres out from defensive goal, looking right and then looking left, and opting to go down the southern wing to a pack that forms. Sicily at the front. Ball falls behind him. Watson can pick it up for Hawthorn. Hand pass to D'Ambrosio, who retreats defensively. Could be picked off by Van Rooyen here. Melbourne forward now's in a 1v2, and it's the Hawks that win out here. Warple hand passes to Sicily, flicks it across to Impey, who's running now. Pickett's on his tail, and he gets him.
Oh, trip.
Oh, it'll be a trip. So a tackle from Pickett ends up being a trip, or else it would have been a great run-down tackle, but Impey still holding the footy, southern wing.
Just slid down the legs. The kick towards half forward. Reeves rises, can't take the mark. Spills into the middle of the ground. Petrarca's onto it for Melbourne. Hand pass to Chandler. They're running in waves, Melbourne. Kicks inside 50. Van Rooyen's free. He marks in the right forward pocket. Had Fritsch racing towards goal. And now decide to have the set shot on goal.
Sorry, Ned Reeves, but you're 8'10". You've got to mark those. You dropped the ball at centre forward, and now having a shot for goal at the other end.
It has looked like a class difference between the two sides this afternoon. As Jacob Van Rooyen is looking for his first goal. But the 4 last week against the Western Bulldogs. With that famous number 2 on his back. Van Rooyen comes in, 45-degree angle, starts it out to the left, tries to bring it back right. And it cannons into the left goalpost and a minor score. The Demons by 33 points at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter.
Scrimshaw standing with the footy in the goal square. 2 footies on the ground at the moment, with the second one just sitting in the 50 as he goes out to the MCC wing. Warple's there, can't gather. In comes Lever, hand passes away to Windsor, running through, gets a hand pass across to Viney. He gets through some traffic. He's finally caught, tackled by Hawks players who still trying to get the footy. The umpire will blow the whistle, and it will be a Hawthorn free kick going to Jack Scrimshaw. So Scrimshaw can kick it out wide to the left back pocket, where Mitch Lewis has come up the ground to get a touch. And they'll hold on to the footy in that left back pocket in front of all the members of the MCG. Again, just struggling to find a way forward. Sicily's directing him to go down this wing, and that's what he does, down the broadcast wing to Ginnivan. Taps it down. Picked up by Ward. High ball. Gawn has front position. He can't mark. Watson picks it up and races it over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in front of the Hawthorn bench. 17.5 minutes gone in the second term. It's Melbourne by 33 points.
The voice of Lauren Borden alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Andrew May is down on the boundary. Nathan Burke and Brad Saw with you for live footy on ABC Sport. Reeves wins down the tap, straight to the boundary line. Umpire says throw it back in once more. I felt like Melbourne have been sharp, Sully, in the defensive intent. Their attack on the ball this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. They've been far dominant side out there. 4.5 so far this afternoon.
Beaten in straight sets in the finals last year, be it by narrow margins. Gawn knocks it out, having done the ruck work on all fours. It's into the path of Cam McKenzie for the Hawks. Kicks up towards Ginnivan, spoiled away by Salem. Mitch Lewis charging through, can't gather, becomes the tackler on Neil Bullen. Ball spills clear, Viney for Melbourne, kicks end over end up towards half forward. Fritsch comes out on the lead, Sicily chasing him. Hand pass away to Petrarca, tight to the pocket, too wide for Cosy Pickett, and he goes out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go the way of Jarman Impey, who will take the free kick for Hawthorn in the left back pocket. Melbourne by 33 points. 19 minutes gone, second quarter.
So here's Jarman Impey. He'll kick long down the wing, pack forming, and here comes Ginnivan. Front of the pack rises high to take the mark. And again, has to hold on to it until all his teammates get ahead of him. He looks a bit frustrated, waving his arm around, urging them to come forward, but he'll just have to kick long down the wing again. Half forward for the Hawks. Watson's at the back. He can grab it now. He's got to run now. Puts it under his arm. Hand passes it to Bruce. He can still run along the boundary line. Gets a hand pass away. Then has to go chasing it again. Difficult stuff now for the Hawks, and it's Melbourne that will emerge with the footy. Hand pass comes to Gawn, and he'll try and kick Melbourne outside of defensive 50. He gets him out there. But Ginnivan for another mark in a minute takes the intercept mark.
Ginnivan comes into the middle of the ground. It's a good option in the end as he spots up Frost. Van Rooyen trying to race back. Hand pass to Scrimshaw. Has to sidestep Pickett. Hand pass miss McKenzie. Pickett providing all sorts of pressure for Melbourne. He may have given away a free kick in the back though. And McKenzie will take it at centre half forward for Hawthorn. Intent was good, just the execution from Pickett just a little sloppy. Kicks into the pocket. Mitch Lewis comes charging out. And a free kick over the shoulder, and it'll be a Hawthorn shot on goal. And it's going to be Nick Watson who will have it.
It's not going to be the first time in his career you're going to call that clinching. Stephen
May just gathered him high. And is this the moment for Nick Watson?
High tackle on Watson.
He's not the tallest of players, it must be said.
Are there any shorter in the AFL?
Caleb Daniel would have to be close, but 170 centimetres with the Formula One in town. But the brown and gold fans have come to see the Wizard this afternoon. Nick Watson for his first goal in AFL footy. He misses to the right-hand side. Another big build-up for not to be. He's got 5 behinds in his career so far. 2 this afternoon. Melbourne by 32 points.
So McVeigh now to bring it in for the D's, and he'll just chip it to May. Then exits defensive 50, going towards Langdon. It was Frost at the back. He gets the free kick and plays on quickly to Bruce, who puts a kick towards Ginnivan just out of his reach. Petrarca was there to pick up. Hand pass to Langdon, then get it back. Hand passes out to Sparrow. Kicks down the wing for the D's. Brown goes up, can't take the mark. Frost at the back. Hand passes to Warple. He'll put the Hawks back inside 50. Lewis charging from the back. Can't take the mark. Picks it up though. Tackled by Lever. Umpire says play on. Ginnivan tries to go in there. Sparrow can collect for the D's. Hand pass to Oliver, who hand passes it across to Gawn. Long hand pass to Tom McDonald. Now the D's have switched it to the broadcast side of the ground. The ball got put in front of Billings, who was chasing after it. But it'll go over the boundary line for a throw-in between wing and half forward for the Hawks. It's Melbourne leading by 32 points after 20 minutes in the second quarter.
Give Hawthorn credit here. I don't think Melbourne have been great this quarter. I think they've been a bit sloppy. They've really missed a lot of targets. I'll put that down to Hawthorn's increased pressure.
Only a goal apiece in this second quarter. Carl Amon cutting through traffic. Past Neil Bullen. Kicks to Mitch Lewis in the pocket. One way, then the other. Hand pass to Ginnivan. Tom McDonald got a touch in there and then lays the tackle. Another chance for Lewis. He's pressured and pushed out of play. Sparrow and Lever. Little shove as he went into the fence from Lever at the last moment. The umpire says throw it in, but just a bit of composure hard up against the fence there. And the Hawks at least are showing good intent. They have it in the left forward pocket. A goal apiece in this second quarter. Melbourne by 32 points.
In the ball spun. Bounces in front of all traffic. And McKenzie has it. And the umpire will have to come in and ball it up again. So a little more congestion in this second term. As the ball's taken out of the stoppage, it's Watson again, kicks towards goals, falls short. Again, a pack will form around the footy. Plenty of Melbourne jumpers happy to wrap up Lewis. And that means we'll have a ball up. This time it's just 15 metres out from the Hawks' goal. Searching for just their second goal of today. Ball comes out the back. McKenzie has it. He might be able to snap here. Can barely get a hand pass away as he's wrapped up. Then there's McGuinness with the footy. He's taken by 2 Demons. And again, the ball will be locked up in the punt road end. And Hawthorn's kicking to Melbourne by 32 points as we get to the latter stages of the first half.
The Demons get the opening 6 goals of the match. Hawthorn with the last goal so far as Reeves tries to tap it down against Gawn. Lever knocks it out for Melbourne. Sock it off the deck. In fact, volleyed into the middle of the ground by Neil Bullen. Gained about 40 metres, but it clears Fritsch in the forwards and Jarman Impey gathers to Hawthorn. Hand pass to Sicily. Dodging and weaving around Fritsch. He pulls his kick. Can't clear Possie Pickett as he takes the mark to the left of the centre circles. Fritsch is streaming downhill. He kicks out in front of him. It bounces in the left forward pocket. Sicily lays a good tackle. Fritsch can't get boots a ball. And Frost races back to gather for Hawthorn. The danger is avoided as he gets the hand pass to Weddle. Kicks it up to Impey at right half back. Kicks towards Massimo D'Ambrosio, who marks centre wing on the southern side. Melbourne by 32.
So D'Ambrosio had a great debut game for the Hawks last week against his old club Essendon. Hawks will move it down the wing. Weddle picks it up on the second juggle. Hand passes towards Reeves. Warple stands in front of him and picks it up. Sends the ball inside 50. But it'll meet Howell's able to take the intercept mark for the D's. It's an average kick outside 50 means the Hawks can rebound here. Amon, hand pass to McKenzie, dances around, then hand passes to Newcomb. Skies the ball inside 50, no one in particular. The only person standing back there in the space was Rivers of the D's. So it'll be Melbourne able to hold on to the ball 35 metres out from defensive goals, and they're holding on to a 32-point lead as well.
Trent Rivers looks out to the southern wing when Max Gawn works his way to the front. Brown put a good block on Ned Reeves. Allowed the Melbourne captain to take the mark at left half back. Just check the guide, Sully. Caleb Daniels listed at 168 centimetres, so he's shorter than Nick the Watson Wizard. As the Demons at half forward by Viney, gets the hand pass away to Langdon. Fritz charging towards goal in the left forward pocket, can't take the mark. He and Petty got in each other's space, and it's rushed through by Sicily for a minor score. Melbourne by 33 points at the 26-minute mark of the second quarter.
Another poor kick inside 50 there by Melbourne. The last two, not to the advantage of their teammates, and Hawthorn come away with it.
So McKenzie, outside of defensive 50, kicks along the wing. It'll be a holding free here as McVie and Ginnivan keep going at the ball. Whoa, McVie not happy with Ginnivan. They have a little tussle on the ground, and then Ginnivan's got to put his headband back on. Salem now with the footy, puts it at the top of the 50 for Melbourne. But it'll be Weddle now back there in defence for the Hawks to hold on to it.
Ben Van's got to do better than that. Bring that ball to ground on the half-forward line. Can't be outmarked by Weddle.
Chips to Ward and then Amon, who goes long towards Chol, who rows over May. May might be hurt here after getting that collision from Chol. Chol will get the hand pass now, coming from Moore, and he takes a bounce, streaming down the wing. He could put it in front of Lewis if he wants. He puts it in front of Bruce, who slams it through the goals. Bruce with just the second for the Hawks. The margin brought back to 27 points nearing half-time. And Bruce in the goal square, able to capitalise on that one. So it's Melbourne 6-5-41, Hawthorn 2-2-14. Let's head down to Andrew Mays on the boundary.
Yeah, Stephen May still only just getting to his feet. So Marbia Chol landed right in his ribs, and he's really struggling to suck in some breath at the moment. So in a lot of pain, and I'm sure with only a couple of minutes left until half-time, he might just try and rest up until then. Good news for D's fans. He is sitting at the front of the bench. Doctor assessing him now. I'll have more in a minute.
Well, that's what we want to see from Marbior Chol. We want to see him crash a pack up on the wing and then use his athleticism to hit the ground, sprint away from the foot end. It was a lovely kick for Bruce running back to the goal square. That's the sort of thing you need from an athletic big fella.
Goal number 529 for Luke Bruce as the ball once more from the bounce just flares out to the left and will be recalled. Thrown up in the middle. Reeves up against Gawn. Viney into Newcomb before the ball is thrown up. Warple alongside Olver. Viney's onto it. Newcomb lays the tackle. Did he fall in his back play on the call? Nash tries to knock it out for Hawthorn. Finn McInnes through traffic. Has to gather his own hand pass. Hand pass missed the intended target of Carl Lamont. It's pinched by Sparrow of Melbourne. Hand pass missed the target. Warple for the Hawks. Hand pass to Impey. Kicks out to the southern side. Moore leads the foot race. Gets there first. Dropped the footy as House laid the tackle. Gathered by Langdon. Hand pass forward. Chandler ridden into the turf. And the umpire will ball it up at left half forward for Melbourne. The Hawks are 2-1 in this second quarter. The Demons lead is 27 points, approaching half-time.
Umpire tosses it back on. Newcomb can run straight onto it. And hand pass to Moore, who flicks a quick hand pass to Nash, who go long right to half forward. Chol finds himself in some space, takes the mark, keeps running. Hand passes it to Watson. Maybe this time he'll go for the sticks again. And he misses yet again. So another behind for Nick Watson in his short AFL career so far. It's Melbourne's lead now, 26 points, nearing half-time.
So kicked 3 behinds last week. He's got 3 this afternoon. So 6 behinds to start his career. As Tom McDonald gets the last kick off the half. In fact, it cleared him, and Jack Scrimshaw with the last kick of the half. And Melbourne lead by 26 points at the main break. 6-5-41 to Hawthorn 2-3-15. But Hawthorn with 2 goals to Melbourne's 1 in that second quarter after Demons kicked the opening 5 goals of the match and led by 32 points at quarter time. The goal kickers for the Demons, 3 goals to Cosy Pickett, individuals to Billings and to Fritsch. Meanwhile, for the Hawks, their goals have come through Luke Bruce and Connor McDonald. Earlier today, it was the Fremantle Dockers winners by 26 points over North Melbourne. The Kangaroos got off to a positive start with 4 goals to 2 in the opening quarter, but Fremantle was 7 goals to 1 in the third term, before eventually kicking 12 of the last 15 goals of the match to win by 26 points. The thoughts of Nathan Burke and Brad Saw with you on ABC Sport.
Terrific quarter footy, Berkey. Fair contrast to the first 30 minutes that we saw, and for the most part, I think it was because of Hawthorn. Their intensity at the ball, at the man, their clearance work was much better, their tackles were sticking. They managed to at least break 50-50 and get the ball played in their half. They weren't as concerned about holding on possession of the ball. They were happy to kick it in long. We saw Mitch Lewis get a little bit more involved, although it wouldn't look so on the stats sheet. At least physicality-wise, he's crashing some packs. He's bringing the ball to ground. Nick Watson got involved. He's getting a look at goals, most importantly. But Melbourne just didn't get the same opportunities, the same slingshot action that we saw in that first quarter. And for the most part, Hawthorn will be feeling pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they changed a lot of things around. So they won the clearances 9-7 after being thrashed 11-1 in that first quarter. They inside 50s were 12 to Hawthorn 13. Both quarters Hawthorn have had 106 possessions. First quarter they went inside 55 times, second was 12 times. And that's a far, far better ratio. They were just a lot more direct. And if you're going to win this game, you have to get the ball inside 50 12 times a quarter. And they ended up winning that quarter. For Melbourne, Melbourne were just trying to be a little bit too cute. They had 35 kicks and 47 handballs. They were trying to get somebody out every single time. The one goal that they got was just Van Rooyen just whacking the ball on his boot, getting it on inside 50, and Pickett marking the ball. Every other time they tried to be too cute, and Hawthorn's increased pressure didn't allow them to get that free player going inside 50. And when they did, they quite often made a bad decision. So well done to Hawthorn. They changed the way they were going about it. Luckily they did, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But good news is I'm going to stick around for the second half, because the Hawks started to play football like they wanted to score and they wanted to win. For Melbourne now, I think Simon Goodwin won't be impressed with that second quarter at all. He's going to change the way that they're playing. Don't be so cute. Pay your opponents a little bit more respect when they've got you outnumbered, when they've got you under pressure. Get the ball on your boot and get the ball up your end as quickly as you can, because you've got the forwards who can actually either take a mark or win the ball on the ground. So shaping up for a far better second half than what we were thinking at quarter time. Clinchy?
The thoughts of Nathan Burke and Brad Saw with you on ABC Sport. Plenty of other sport to update you on, with Melbourne leading by 26 points at halftime. But firstly, let's get the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. More than 400,000 Tasmanians are expected to have cast votes in the state election before polls close in about an hour from now. The Liberals are attempting to regain a majority of lower house seats after falling into minority last year. Polling conducted before the election indicated neither the Liberals nor Labor might achieve a majority, with an expansion of the lower house making it easier for independent and minor party candidates to get elected. Counting will start as soon as polling booths close at 6 o'clock local time. A higher than usual number of candidates means it could be some time before final results are known. Western Australian Liberals leader Libby Metham says she isn't worried by the Nationals' move to target city seats in the next state election. The WA Nationals are set to announce candidates for seats in South Perth, Bateman, Darling Range and Kalamunda in the 2025 election. Ms Metham says this move does not signal a rift between the two parties. She says the Nationals have no choice but to contest Perth seats due to changes in the electoral boundaries affecting the upper house.
Because the Labor Party have removed regional representation from the upper house, it is the National Party's decision to do this so that they can see the support for their upper house colleagues.
The United States says it previously warned Russia about possible terrorist attacks, but that was dismissed by Russia's newly elected president, Vladimir Putin. It follows the assault on a concert in Moscow that's killed at least 60 people, as the BBC's Will Vernon reports.
Washington says the Russian authorities were informed on several occasions that militants linked to the Islamic State group were planning attacks in Russia. Earlier this month, the US Embassy in Moscow issued a security alert, warning of the risk of attacks and specifically mentioning concerts. 4 days ago, President Putin poured scorn on such warnings, dismissing them as an attempt to sow fear and destabilise the country.
China's Coast Guard says it's taken what it describes as control measures against Philippine ships in disputed waters of the South China Sea, while the Philippines calls the Chinese moves irresponsible and provocative. The incident occurred in a shoal garrisoned by Filipino troops on a warship that Manila grounded there in 1999 to reinforce its sovereignty claims. The Philippines Armed Forces say that a civilian boat hired to resupply the troops was being escorted by Philippine ships when it was impeded and encircled by Chinese ships. It's the latest in a string of recent incidents between Chinese and Philippine ships in the South China Sea. Letters seen by the Reuters news agency reveal the FBI has told passengers who were on Alaska Airlines' Boeing 737 MAX 9 plane that suffered a mid-air emergency in January that they may be victims of a crime. The letters are a procedural step in some criminal investigations by the US Justice Department. The letters tell passengers that a criminal investigation can be a lengthy undertaking, and for a number of reasons it cannot tell them about its progress at present. The Alaska Airlines incident is the latest serious issue involving Boeing's problem-plagued 737 MAX jets. Back home, and police will investigate whether drugs or alcohol played a part in a crash that killed 3 people in Queensland's Wide Bay region. Authorities say just before 10 o'clock last night, a 53-year-old man turned right onto the Bruce Highway at Maryborough and collided with a semi-trailer. The truck crossed lanes and hit another semi, which burst into flames. The 53-year-old and 2 truck drivers died at the scene. Acting Superintendent Paul Algie says the incident looks to be the result of human error.
The driver failed to give way to the truck travelling south, and that's what's caused this collision. Toxicology will be conducted on this male person, but the results of that will take some time. We need to be able to eliminate whether drugs and alcohol played a part in this crash.
A man has been charged with murder after a body was found in the Mount Druitt area in Sydney's western suburbs overnight. Emergency services were called to Molomba around 9 o'clock last night, where they found the body of a 32-year-old man with significant injuries. Police say they were later called to reports of a crash involving a parked car, which led to the arrest of a 38-year-old man who was found hiding in bushes. Police will allege the 2 men were involved in a prearranged fight at a nearby home. It's further alleged the injured man was driven to a nearby street where he was left. The 38-year-old man was refused bail and will face court tomorrow. That brings you up to date with the latest ABC News.
Muhammad. The ABC presents a new drama series that takes you behind the walls of the sacred.
Baba, I should be your VP.
You put yourself above the Almighty Creator.
And into a story of family, love, secrets and betrayals at a Sydney mosque.
Love's not a bank loan, Asa. Never needs to be repaid.
The ABC's groundbreaking new drama, House of Gods. Sunday nights on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
He'll put it in the path of Reeves, who went up. Kick was affected, though. It'll find its way to Warple. Just at the top of the 50, it'll be a mark to McDonald. So finally a set shot now for Hawthorn. So McDonald to kick the Hawks first of the day. He's got it. Finally, Hawthorn have a major on the board for the afternoon, coming at the 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Neil Bullen with a hand pass back to Van Rooyen for Melbourne. Inside 50, Cosy Pickett. And full flight charging out. Cosy Pickett kicking for his third. From inside 50, he is lighting up the MCG.
Chol will get the hand pass now, coming from Moore, and he takes a bounce, streaming down the wing. He could put it in front of Lewis if he wants. He puts it in front of Bruce, who slams it through the goals. Bruce with just the second for the Hawks.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Great to have your company for Saturday afternoon footy. It's Melbourne who lead Hawthorn by 26 points, 6-5-41 to the Hawks, 2-3-15. After Melbourne kicked the opening 5 goals of the match, Hawthorn with 2-1 in that second quarter, a far tighter affair. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Andrew Mays is down on the boundary. Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke are your experts on ABC Sport. Earlier today, it was the Fremantle Dockers who made it 2 wins on the trot. 23-point winners over North Melbourne. 15-12, 102 to the Kangaroos, 11-10, 76. The Kangas started brightly with 4 goals to 2 in the opening quarter, but Fremantle took control in the second half, 7 goals to 1 in the third term, and eventually finishing with 10 goals to 3 in the second half. Luke Jackson got the 3 votes in the ABC Football of the Year. Caleb Sarong got the 2, and the young midfielder Caleb Sarong led the way with 35 disposals. He caught up with Jess Webster after the game.
Here with Caleb Strong after Fremantle beat North by 26 points at Dockland Stadium. Firstly, Caleb, that was an incredible fight back. You just had a quick team meeting. What's the initial reaction to a win like that?
You want to enjoy those ones, and any win. The way the AFL is at the moment, it's a very tight competition, so wins are hard to come by no matter who you play against. So we'll enjoy it. We kind of just spoke about where the game was won and lost, and in that first half, I think we were minus 19 in contested ball, and in the second half we were plus 28 or something like that. So that's a pretty clear indicator to where the game was won for us and where we need to get back to, and that's it's no surprise to us. We know that's kind of the game for us, and fortunately we didn't bring it in the first half, and North were really good, but we felt like we were able to fight back and showed a lot of maturity as a group.
What was said at halftime? Because you were 33 points at one time during that second quarter, and you had to really lift in all areas because it's not easy. You've got a few injuries. You're away from home. You really had to rally. So what was said at halftime to spark that comeback?
It was probably a bit before halftime and throughout that first half that we kind of knew we just had to stick at it. And similar kind of conversations that were happening early last week when we went down, that we really need to stick at it and stick to our game plan, because if we kind of go away from that, we're going to be no chance to get back into the game, and just need to have real trust in the way that we go about it, that we weren't really playing our footy in the first half, and if we got back to that, we knew the game was going to kind of turn. And momentum's, it's a funny thing, you can't really just switch it like that. Sometimes it takes 5-10 minutes to really wrestle that game back, and we felt like we were able to do that through the end of that second quarter, kick a couple, get back to kind of 3 goals down, and then that half-time was just very much reinforcing our footy gets it done, and we need to go back out there in the second half and play that, and we're able to do that in the third quarter.
You must be proud with the maturity of the group to be able to dig yourselves out of that hole.
Yeah, definitely. I think shown the last 2 weeks we don't want to go down by 4 or 5 goals at any point, but the way that we've attacked this pre-season, we're a fit group, we're a strong group, mentally we're strong. I don't know if we would have won that game last year. Guys have grown up a lot. We've really matured as a group, and now we're connecting with each other and really growing together. So it was a great sign of the maturity and the growth of the group today. But yeah, we'll be looking at how we can not go down by 5 goals in the first half.
Well, we need to talk about these slow starts last week and again today. What do you think is the cause, and is it a cause for concern?
I think last week it was not so much, because there was a couple of things that would happen, and a couple of incidents where just little mistakes that kind of cost us goals. 50-metre penalty, rush behind, and they had some good bits of play, but we felt like the game was kind of being played the way we wanted it to, and today it just wasn't the case in that aspect. And like I said, the contest, that's where our game kind of starts, and if we're not kind of getting ourselves going in that space, we're no chance. And yeah, that was the point today, and for us, we'll get back to that. We feel like we train. We kind of expose ourselves early in training sessions to high intensity training, and how we can kind of start the sessions really hot, and hopefully that lends itself to it not being a consistent thing for us, but we're kind of looking at the positive of our ability to fight back no matter what position we're in the game, and we'll work on those starts and make sure we're kind of improving that space.
Well done today, 2-0. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, Jess.
Caleb Sarong chatting with Jess Webster as part of the ABC Sport team. Don't forget, there's so much on offer via the ABC Listen app. So we are on the AFL button. If you download it on whatever smart device in which you're using, you can hear the majority of the AFL matches in your state on the AFL button. If you're looking for one which isn't available, the AFL Extra button is the way in which to find it. There's also the Sheffield Shield, which is available via the ABC Cricket button. Day 3, WA are 2 for 112 in their second innings, leading by 273 runs after dismissing Tasmania for 186 earlier today. The NRL, that's on the ABC Sport button on the ABC Listen app. So At the moment, the match between the Dragons and the Cowboys, that's locked at 4-all. While earlier today it was the Bulldogs who defeated the Gold Coast Titans 32 points to 0. And don't forget, we will also have coverage of the Socceroos and their second World Cup qualifier against Lebanon. That's on Thursday night from Canberra. So on the ABC Sport Digital and via the ABC Listen app, just look for the Sport button. And in the horse racing today, Lady Camelot won the Golden Slipper for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, ridden by Blake Shin. And Max Verstappen has taken pole for the Australian Grand Prix. So Red Bull once more dominant. There were some thoughts that maybe Ferrari might challenge, but it's Mighty Max once more who is the one who everyone will be chasing tomorrow afternoon. From an Australian point of view, Oscar Piastri will start from 6th position. And it wasn't a great qualifying session for Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo, with Ricciardo starting on the last row after, unfortunately, his fastest lap time was deleted after exceeding the track limits on turn 5. So he had a good start, or a goodish start, 13th in the season opening race in Bahrain and then 16th in Saudi Arabia. But with a bit of pressure and the possibilities for Dan Ricciardo to maybe rejoin the main Red Bull team, starting from 18th position for his home GP. You across that tomorrow, Sully? Are you a track fan?
Not particularly, but I have really enjoyed the Netflix series.
Yep.
Drive to Survive. That's been my gateway into the sport. So I will be watching with some interest tomorrow.
Around 450,000 fans expected to go through Albert Park across the 4 days. On the SMS 0437 774 774. Brendan from Hobart says, hopefully we'll find out tonight as to whether we get a new stadium in Tasmania. Yes, of course, the state election is taking place at the moment. As to whether it's a minority government, we will wait and see. But what impact that might have on the new AFL team. What did you think of the colours, Berkey? And they've already had 150,000 foundation members sign up. It's only a $10 joining fee, but it's a good indication that the Tassie Heartland are very excited about their AFL team.
It's good. So the jumper that they showed, which is the old traditional Tasmanian one, so that'll just be for special occasions and heritage rounds, and they'll unveil the other ones as they go. But I think the Devils was a good choice. I think anything other than that might have been a little bit hard to sort of get to know. But Tassie Devils, it's traditional. It's going to be a new team coming in with some traditions already behind it, which is not what we've seen from any new team come into the league so far. So I think that's a good thing.
And it is also a reminder for our listeners through local radio in Tasmania, you'll leave us at the completion of this match for coverage of the state election. If you want to keep listening to the AFL, just look for the AFL button on the ABC Listen app. It comes through beautifully crystal clear, and you can keep across all the footy tonight with Sydney taking on Essendon. And from Melbourne, hi guys, loving the coverage. Great to hear Sully and Berkey back for another year. Michael wants to pose the question, Sully. 2 goals to half-time for Hawthorn. No improvement from last season. Bottom 3 for the Hawks again for me. Disappointing.
Well, that would be, if that's the case, it will be disappointing. But for mine, it's not so much about win and loss for Hawthorn this year. They need to show improvement from last year. They need to continue to get games into their younger players. They need to continue to mature and grow their list. But I think most importantly, the second half of this year to springboard into the following year, springboard into next year, will be the measuring stick for mine.
Another great call by the team at the ABC. Hawks need to get going. Joyful listening on the radio while watching the Bush Telly. Make sure you put your name through so we can acknowledge your message coming through on 0437 774 774. And Marcus in South Melbourne says Keziah Pickett, Jack Billings and Shane McAdam is a pretty lethal forward line. P.S. Who said the Dockers can't make the 8? Yes, 2 from 2 for the Fremantle Dockers. Did you say that, Berkey?
Probably me.
We all get predictions wrong every now and again.
It's only 2 games in. Settle down.
Right. It's a long way to go.
They played North Melbourne.
Yes.
Stephen May, haven't seen him come out of the rooms just yet. Oh, his name has just turned red on our little scorecard here. So that knock to the ribs from Marbior Chol just before the halftime siren must have done some damage. So he's out of the game in the second half.
Yeah, we'll go down to Maisie in a couple of moments' time. A cheerio to Brian, who sent through a message and joined the call on the app. Working on a trawler in North Queensland. Great win by the Fremantle Dockers. Players are in position and we're ready to go for the second half. Melbourne leading by 26 points. Can Hawthorn continue their fight back, or will the Demons surge clear once more? Here's Lauren Borden to get us underway.
So Melbourne have led from the outset of the game so far, now ahead by 26 points as the umpire bounces the ball in the middle of the ground, and it's a holding free going the way of Ned Reeves of the Hawks, and the ball will come back to him. He'll chip it out wide towards Ward, who nearly hand passes to a running Amon, and kicks out wide to Hardwick. Direct kick inside 50, goes over the top of Moore, but the mark's taken by Bruce. So Bruce 45 metres out, 4 metres in from the boundary line. Chooses to put it towards the hot spot, and it'll be an intercept mark taken by McVie. So it could have been a shot at goal from Bruce, but instead it's McVie. Takes the intercept mark for the D's. Hand pass to Howes, who scurries the kick along the boundary line. And we'll have a throw-in outer side of the ground.
That was good movement, good forward play, except for the last kick by Bruce, who probably should have had a shot from there. But if you're going to get the ball to the middle of the ground and then go wide, you need somebody sprinting out into the pockets, because Max Gawn gets back in the middle. They always cover the middle. Luke Bruce, good lead, good hit up, should have had a shot for goal.
Andrew Mays on the boundary.
Yeah, it's a suspected broken rib for Stephen Mays, so he's going to the Epworth for a few precautionary scans. So fingers crossed that is better than what it looked when he was very ginger going down the stairs there at half-time.
Yeah, he certainly was. So Marty Hoare, the sub for the Demons, into the action. Jack Gunston, the sub for the Hawks. Ward gathers for Hawthorn on left half forward. Kicks towards Marbiel Chol, who got rid of his opponent. Couldn't quite take the mark. He's cannon into and lost his footing. The ball is stuck underneath him. Jack Ginnivan, and the umpire will ball it up in the left forward pocket for the Hawks.
He did all the hard work, Marbiel, but it just dropped it when it came.
City end of the MCG. Reeves wins down the tap. Chol trying to put the tackle on Windsor. It spills the way of Believer. Ward lays the tackle on Viney. There's nowhere to go. Hawthorn have it locked in their left forward pocket. Melbourne leading by 26 points.
Hawthorn kicking towards the City end in the third quarter as Oliver tries to get a kick away. Viney just picks it off his boot. Kicks outside defensive 50. Pickett was there. Can't mark. Impey has the footy and he's wrapped up by Petrarca. Just on the edge of the centre square, half forward for the Hawks, and we'll have a ball up.
Clayton Oliver just for 4 handballs in that second quarter.
So Oliver runs past the footy here. Petrarca picks it up, gets it to Oliver, who can fire out a hand pass to Viney. Hand pass to Langdon. Now Oliver, who'll get it back for 2 touches in 10 seconds. Kicks down the wing towards Brown. He can't mark. Weddle was with him. And he'll chip it forward and he'll chip it out of bounds on the full. So not a good kick from Weddle after earning the ball, and it's Oliver who'll pick it up and take the free for Melbourne.
Works it forward by foot to Ed Langdon, who takes the mark. Centre wing on the Shane Warne stand side. He looks up towards half forward. Max Gawn's there. Ben Brown as well. Clears to the back. Fritsch makes the spoil. Out towards Neil Bullen. Can't take it cleanly. Connor Nash for Hawthorn. Hand pass away to Warple. Into the middle of the defensive 50. It's Carl Amon who gets the hand pass to Newcomb. Kicks out to the member side. Bruce has a couple of metres as he tries to race after it. McVie offering chase. Good gather by Bruce. Cuts back left and then right. Kicks up towards Mitch Lewis, who takes the mark. Just cleared the fingertips of Tom McDonald. He's hard out to the right. He'll have to kick from outside 50.
Well played by Bruce, just to find himself enough time. A little bit of fancy footwork, and then to place the kick just over the fingertips of McDonald. This is within Mitch Lewis's range here.
Mitch Lewis with just the 4 disposals. Hawthorn need a spark. He's hard out to the right, has to kick from 55. He puts it towards the teeth of goal. Ginnivan's there, Marbiel Chol. And it's Jake Lever who rushes it through for a minor score. Melbourne by 26 points, 25 points. 4 minutes gone, third term.
Can Maisie run a tape measure out to Ben Brown and just show him how tall he is? The last long kick that went into Melbourne forward line, I thought, here he goes, he's going to jump up for the mark. He ran to the front of the pack like a crummer. That's not his job. His job is to get the ball at the highest point in the air. That's what I want to start to see him do, not pretend that he's 4'7".
McVie went to Salem, then Petrarca. And then across to Tom McDonald at left half back for the D's. Hand pass to Salem, who hand passed across to Windsor. He tries and gains some territory, kicking to half forward towards Fritsch. Couldn't mark D'Ambrosio on the turf. Can hand pass towards Sicily. It'll be Warple that picks up, spins around, and then darts across a hand pass to Ambrosio. Right onto the AFL logo to Newcomb. Hawks can move it quickly here. Hand pass across to Nash. Puts the kick inside 50, hoping for a mark. There's Mitch Lewis.
Oh, free kick. Paid a free kick against Moore for a hold, which is a little bit stiff, which allowed Lewis to come across.
So Lewis, almost the perfect build-up for Hawthorn, but they've given away the free kick, which means it'll be Howes for Melbourne that'll take it for the D's.
Shot of Sam Mitchell on the monitor, throwing his head into his hands. Frustration as Hawthorn worked hard to get it forward. The kick up to the wing, no mark is claimed. Umpire lets it go for a few moments. Petty gets a hand pass away to Petrarca. Now to Neil Bullen on the outer wing. Kicks up towards Max Gawn. The Melbourne captain marks on his chest. He pokes the kick into the pocket. Cosy Pickett kept running. He missed him. And it bounces end over end out of play. Pickett with 3 goals to half-time. And the multiple goal scorer on the ground. Boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Demons, leading by 25 points.
The only pocket still in a bit of sunshine as it gets to the twilight stages of this match. Full floodlights on at the moment. As the umpire brings the ball back in. Reeves at the front can wait for the bounce. It goes over the top of his head. Gawn can only get a fingertip in it. Langdon from the boundary can kick a centering kick forward. Frost can't mark it. Still a chance for the D's here. Frost will hand pass back to Eamon, and he'll send a clearing kick out of defence. It'll go to the top of the 50 where Gawn sits back for the D's and takes the intercepting mark from Melbourne. He holds on to the footy now, looking for a slow approach. Just dubs it forward towards Chandler, who got himself into some space and marks 50 metres out from goal.
Oh, too easy there. Hawthorn fell asleep defensively. There shouldn't be holes like that inside your defensive 50.
They've got 17 players back inside their defensive. Oh, no, Bruce is coming off. They've got 16. Should be able to find a hole against 16 players.
So Chandler backs himself from here. He'll have to kick from 53 metres out. After 3 goals last week, puts it on his left boot, a booming kick towards goals, and it was the right decision. He gets the goal for Melbourne. The first goal of the third term, and Melbourne's advantage is now 31 points. After 7 minutes in the third quarter, it's Melbourne 7-5-47, leading Hawthorn 2-4-16. Let's head down to Andrew Mays on the boundary.
Yeah, Jake Lever looking a little dejected as he came off a little earlier. Just had a bit of a quick chat to the physio, then straight downstairs. So I'll keep an eye on that one.
Thanks, Maisie. Now the thoughts of your experts, Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke.
Well constructed by Melbourne there, wasn't it? Hawthorn looked like they had a mark inside 50, free kick against, quick transition, and Melbourne are a good side, but they're allowed to move the ball with ease.
6 disposals, a couple of inside 50s and a goal for Cade Chandler. Having kicked 3 goals last week, a free kick. Marbiel Chol went a little early and made contact to the head with Jacob Van Rooyen. Takes the free kick in the middle of the ground for Melbourne. Kicks up towards Petrarca. Can't take the mark. Hardwick comes chasing through. It gets to the back of the pack where Ward and Langdon race after it, but not before it crosses the boundary line. 50 metres out from Melbourne's goal. The punt road end. The Demons by 31 points.
Not sure what Chol could have done then. He ran in and jumped as high as he could at the centre bounce, and his opponent doesn't jump and gets hit in the head. It's not really Marbiel's fault.
Van Rooyen's doing the ruck against Weddle here. He doesn't have the same leap. Petrarca tries to spin out of traffic. Hand pass picked off by McDonald for Hawthorn. Hand pass to Impey, who goes back to Scrimshaw in the back pocket. Pickett charging at him. Kicks up towards Ginnivan. Can't take the mark. Off hands, it gets to the back. Ward's away for Hawthorn. Wants to leak the hand pass through the middle to McDonald. Dodging and weaving away from Salem. Wanted to give it back to Ward. Turns it over. Straight to Langdon for Melbourne. Hand pass to Salem. Kicks up towards Clayton Oliver. But getting back, Finn McGuinness gets a hand in there and sees it out of play for a boundary throw in.
So you had 2 players ahead of you against 2 Melbourne defenders. It's 2-on-2 inside 50. Just give them a chance. Don't go backwards and sideways. That was just a young fella just making the wrong decision with the ball.
It's Weddle in the ruck for Hawthorn now against Van Rooyen. Ball comes down and Weddle will chase after it. Can pick up the footy and send a hand pass back to McKenzie. He'll go with a flat kick down the line straight into the hands of Haw. So Haw the sub on the field for Stephen May now. Long kick with the switch to Tom McDonald, who can hand pass to Billings and just chips towards Rivers. Holding on to the footy at centre wing for the D's. Rivers will have an opportunity to go wide. He'll be able to spot up Billings.
He goes short to Tom McDonald, who marks in front of the 2 benches. Melbourne by 31 points. The Demons with the only goal so far in this third quarter. Up towards Ben Brown, who tries to fly. Can't take the mark. Finn McGuinness to Hawthorn. Hand pass to Scrimshaw. Hand pass straight to Petrarca of Melbourne. Over the top to Fridge. Swings onto his left. Kicks towards goal and puts through his third. Had the contact from Sicily late, but wasn't able to impact the kick. And Bailey Fritsch with his third goal, and the Demons with a couple in this third quarter to stretch it out to 37 points, the biggest lead of the match so far. Melbourne 8-5-53 to Hawthorn 2-4-16. 10 minutes gone, third term. Adrian May's on the boundary.
Yeah, it's one veteran for another for the Hawks. So Jack Gunston, sub-vest off and into the game. Unfortunately, it looks like Luke Bruce has taken his seat at the back. I'll just get a bit of an update on what might have occurred there. He was getting a fair bit of work done on both of his legs from the physio, and then they've just taken a bit of a precautionary measure.
Not good for the Hawks to have that sort of experience out of the side, although Gunston comes in and hopefully he can straighten them up with some really good leads. But that was far better there by Ben Brown. Crashed the pack, unlucky probably not to get a free kick, but brought the ball to ground at centre half forward. Petrarca does the work, gets the ball to Fritsch, and they get a goal. That's the sort of thing we want from Ben Brown.
So from the middle, Petrarca with the footy. Warple tries to tackle him. He holds his ground and then kicks the D's to half forward. It'll be Amon running on for Hawthorn. And then it's picked up, though, by Chandler of the D's. He's taking a tackle, dispossessed of the footy. Umpire says holding the ball. So Amon to be rewarded for his hard work there in defence for the Hawks. And he'll kick from half-back down into the middle of the ground, looking for more. Couldn't mark. It'll be Holmes coming in for it. He holds on to the footy. And we'll have a ball up in the centre of the ground. Plenty of Hawks jumpers surrounding the footy. As again, it'll be Weddle putting up his hand to take his place in the ruck against Van Rooyen, who just picks it out of the ruck for the D's. Gets a quick hand pass away. And the umpire will call ball against Sparrow. So he was tackled when he had the footy. Umpire said he had a little bit of opportunity. And it'll be a free kick going the Hawks' way, and it'll go to Warple. It's the Hawks trailing by 37 points, 12 minutes into the third.
Possession number 17 coming up for Warple. Sicily leads the way with 20. Christian Petrarca with 21 for Melbourne. Warple inside 50, working his way to the front. Weddle takes a good mark. Might have been playing in the ruck as he was alongside Van Rooyen and just led out superbly. Pretty much directly in front, 35 metres out from goal. Josh Weddle only with the 4 goals so far in his 19 games of footy. In the bright fluorescent green boots as he starts his approach. Hawthorn looking for a response here. Weddle comes in, gets underneath it and drags it to the left. And a minor score. 36 points, Melbourne's lead at the 13-minute mark of the third term. Andrew May's on the boundary.
Jake Lever has re-emerged from the rooms. He's done a couple of run-throughs, neither of which were convincing. Now the physio working hard on that right knee with a few more tests.
Thanks, Maisie. Keep us posted. Another big one for Melbourne. Stephen May out of the game and heading to the hospital with a potential fractured rib as the Demons bring the ball out of defence. And the free kick will go the way of Billings against D'Ambrosio. And Billings holding the footy at right half-back for the D's. He kicks the ball down in the Oliver direction, bounces once before the Melbourne midfielder picks up, skies a ball, half forward for Melbourne. Top of the goal square, plenty of D's colours around it. It'll fall to Nash, who's tackled the moment he gets the footy by Fritsch, and he'll be penalised for that. So now a free kick going the way of Fritsch, already with 3 goals this afternoon.
Kicks into the pocket, doesn't quite get to Billings, and the intercepting mark is taken by Massimo D'Ambrosio. Former Bomber who marks in the left back pocket, goes short to Ward, not 15. So back to D'Ambrosio, switches play to Ginnivan. He marks inside the defensive 50 with Windsor offering a chase. Ginnivan gets the hand pass away to Hardwick, kicks up to Connor McDonald. He marks it right half back for the Hawks. Melbourne by 36 points, 8-5-53 to Hawthorn 2-5-17. McDonald's call to play on. So he looks up the members wing. Mitch Lewis is the target. He sets himself in from the side. Tom McDonald couldn't take the mark. Hand pass away from Marty Hall. Missed the target. Viney tries to knock it out, but Hawthorn squeeze a kick forward. Christian Salem is there. He's in front of Marbiel Chol. Hand pass to Rivers, almost too slow as Chol laid the tackle. Knocking it forward, Watson. Ginnivan throws his head back as he's taken high. Jack Ginnivan has it at right half forward.
So Ginnivan with the free kick finds Weddle. Beautifully weighted kick to Weddle. Centre of the attacking 50 for Hawthorn. And he'll have a shot at goal from directly in front.
Set up by Chol there. Terrific tackle, which caused the turnover effectively.
But Chol's got good closing speed.
Quick, wasn't he?
A big fella, yeah, very quick. So why not bang the ball forward every now and again? Just let him use that skill to keep the ball in the area, which he did really well.
So Weddle from directly in front. Kick looks good. And it is. Weddle with the Hawks' third of the afternoon. Melbourne's lead still at 30 points, though, after 15 minutes in this third quarter. It's Melbourne still leading 8-5-53. The Hawks 3-5-23. Your experts on ABC Sport, Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke.
Berkey, how many goals did Melbourne kick in that first quarter?
5?
Yeah, 5-0.
5-0. So effectively we've got an even ball game if we take the first quarter out. Is that?
Yep.
Well, that's correct.
Yeah, it is. And look, you've got May and Lever. May's definitely out of the game. Lever has been on the boundary for a lot of this quarter, sitting on the bike at the moment, trying to get his knee warm. But without May and Lever, capitalise. Just get the ball forward any way that you possibly can and see whether the rest of the Melbourne defence can regather.
Back in the middle, Reeves had the clearance, stripped of it though. Viney for Melbourne, inside 50. Fridge can't take the mark. Ben Brown, the rover, kicks across the face of goal. Snapping on his right and missing to the left-hand side. Minor score, Melbourne by 31 points. 16 minutes gone, third term here at the MCG.
Carl Amon sitting with the footy in the goal square and then kicks out to the MCC side of the ground to Weddle. He tries to hand pass. He's under pressure from Windsor. Can get the hand pass across to D'Ambrosio. Windsor goes after him as well. The young player for the D's. D'Ambrosio can get the kick away to Nash, centre of the ground, and he'll go out wide, switch across to the southern side of the MCG to Sicily. He's got space and can hold on to the footy. Hand pass to Scrimshaw. Chip kick towards Nash. Still in the centre of the ground. So Nash to Amon. Amon does put it inside 50. Sits it for Gunston. Can't take the mark. McDonald can run after it. He tries to dribble it towards the goal, but it's just gone out of bounds just over as McDonald was tracking it.
After Jack Higgins, there's no way they're going to let be anything other than out.
They were hot in that pocket at the city end. It's Melbourne leading by 31.
He's had a couple of those against the Pies, Jack Higgins. Had the one around the post when he was a Tiger. Here's a chance. D'Ambrosio through traffic. It all opened up in front of him. Kicks end over end and misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. So, along the turf. So a boundary throw in. And up against the right behind post. So at least Hawthorn keep it inside their attacking 50. Thrown back in. Gawn and Reeves in a tangle. Gawn tries to slap it down. Sparrow can't get a hand pass away. Somehow Rivers extracts the footy. Kicks up towards half-back. It's over the head of Amon and Billings. Carl Amon gets there first. Taps it back to Frost. Hand pass around Billings back to Amon. Centre wing, southern side. Kicks up to Mitch Lewis. Had a piece of it. Couldn't hang on as Tom McDonald spoiled it down. Langdon gets the hand pass away to Viney. Trying to link up again with Tom McDonald. A chance for Mitch Lewis. Hand pass inboard to Nash. Almost too slow. Just got the hand pass away in the nick of time. Finn McGuinness onto his right. He shanks a kick inside 50. It's gathered by House of Melbourne. Hand pass away to Salem. Through the middle of the ground to Windsor. Here they go, the Demons. Sparrow with a hand pass to Pickett. Dodging and weaving. He dribbles the kick towards half forward. It may still work for Chandler. He gathers. Hand pass to Windsor. It ricochets off his shin. And the Hawks should regather. Scrimshaw gets it to Warple at half back.
And Warple kicks down the wing to Ginnivan. He was in on one-on-one. Lost out to Howes. Howes with the footy can kick down the wing and find Billings. So Billings between wing and right, half forward for the D's, can put the D's inside 50 here, and it's Weddle stepping back to take that intercept mark. So doing things in attack, doing things in defence for the D's. And Weddle will chip the ball to Hardwick, standing at the top of the defensive goal square for the Hawks, who can chip to it D'Ambrosio. So D'Ambrosio then just puts it, not even 15, it's not 15, so he kicks it to McDonald, who's got to play on. He puts it down the wing, looking for Gunston, who's chasing after it. Rivers does well to keep it in. Here's the voice of Petty. Petty slips over and the ball goes over the boundary line in front of the Melbourne bench for a throw-in. It's Melbourne leading by 31 points, having kicked 2 goals to 1 in this term. It's 19 and a half minutes played in the third.
Not far from where Andrew Mays is watching on. Maisie, any sign of Jake Lever, or do you think he's done?
No, I reckon all indications at this stage are he's probably done for the afternoon, but as soon as we get confirmation, I'll let you know.
Thanks, Maisie. Pickett kicks up towards half forward, and Ben Brown takes the mark. Reaching over the top of Frost. He's directly in front, 50 metres out.
Frost was just too slow to move. He had to go with Ben Brown in that marking contest. At least get a body on him.
Get off the ball with Watson and Rivers. Warple was involved.
The man on the mark is on the 50-metre line. Heels on the 50-metre line. Ben Brown is in the centre circle.
I knew I had plenty of time as he starts his run up, makes his approach towards the punt road end, pulls his kick and finds Chandler. Plenty of encouragement for Ben Brown. Christian Salem with his arms outstretched. Petrarca as well. Not sure that was the set play, but he summed it up beautifully with Chandler all on his own and a chance to kick his second.
Well, they fell for it. He put the Hawthorn team to sleep. He went all the way back. He trotted all the way in, and Chandler just ran into a hole, and Hawthorn were snoozing.
So seeing shots on the monitor of Stephen May, who will be taken into the ambulance, you'd assume, as Chandler comes in looking for his second. Beautiful strike. Steers it straight through the middle. His second of this third term, and the Demons with 3 goals to 1 to extend it out to a 37-point margin once more. 9-6-60 to Hawthorn 3-5-23. 21 minutes gone. Third term on ABC Sport.
It's a beautiful kick, Chandler, isn't he? He's tight, compact, nice action, and makes the most of his opportunities in front of goal. And not for the first time today, we've seen Hawthorn's defence sleeping. We get secondary slow play, a secondary mark inside their defensive 50. Melbourne are just too good for that.
Yeah, it was Jarman Impey on that occasion. Chandler was actually standing there with his hand out, pointing to where he wanted the ball for about a good 6-7 seconds, and Impey said, no, he's not going to kick it there, and sorry, son, he did.
So play back restarting the middle. Reeves tries to get it out on his hands and knees. Oliver does it as well, but he can get a hand pass away to Gawn this time, who kicks in front of Neil Bullen, running onto it. Be picked up there by Brown, who hand passes it to Petrarca. 45 metres out. He liked it the moment he kicked it. Hands up, celebrating the moment the ball left his boot. And it was sailing towards goal from that moment on. So 2 goals in 2 minutes to the D's. And suddenly that margin's out to 43 points. 10-6-66, leading Hawthorn 3-5-23. 23 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Such a powerful team, Melbourne. Oliver involved, Max Gawn involved, Petrarca. 3 of their prime movers. When they're in a chain of play going forward, it doesn't usually end well for the opposition.
Brad Saw with you on ABC Sport. A cheerio to Paul on the SMS 0437 774 774. Who's marking Year 11 tests while listening to the Hawks on the ABC Listen app. You're coming through Lost loud and clear in Buffalo in the United States. So hello and welcome to Peter, who's listening in. The Demons move it to half forward. Langdon just missed Oliver with a hand pass streaming forward. Petrarca tries to get involved once more. He's now the tackler on Warple, who busts out of once, not twice, lost the footy. Langdon with a hand pass to Neil Bullen. Hand pass away to Billings in the right forward pocket for another one. No, misses to the right-hand side. The Demons with 4 goals to 1 so far in this third term. They're out to a game-high 43-point lead. 44-point lead.
Scrimshaw this time takes the kick in, and he finds Sicily right at the top of the 50, right half back for the Hawks. Waves away McDonald Lee, and then chips 20 metres to Ward. So Ward holding on to the footy, and he can go directly into the middle of the ground to Newcomb, who looks like he wants to play on quickly. That's what he does. He can see Chol at half forward, goes towards him, and it was a good mark by Chol. Standing in front of Haw, can hold on to the mark. Half forward for Hawthorn. Flat kick inside 50. Good kick from Chol. And it's the wizard, Watson, who marks again.
Well, that's a good bit of play there by Hawthorn. You've got Max Gawn. He runs down and parks himself about 25 metres out from goal. So don't kick it there. Lead to the pockets. Not wide enough where you can't kick the goal, but this is not a tough shot for an AFL player. But young fellow, he's got a little bit of a monkey on his back with 6 behinds before he's got his first goal. Let's see if that monkey turns into a bit of a gorilla.
Wizard Watson has had shots from all over the MCG across the past couple of weeks. And this is the one. On his 7th attempt, Nick Watson gets his first goal in AFL. And his teammates have been waiting to run up to him and surround him and pat him on the back, and they finally get the opportunity to do that. Nick Watson with his first. And it's Hawthorn's 4th for the afternoon, 4-5-29, trailing Melbourne 10-7-67. And you always remember your first goal, don't you, Berkey? That's what you taught us?
You do until you get round about 50. And then things start to sort of drop out of their head.
He's 7 shots on goal in his first 7 quarters. Isn't a bad return, is it?
No.
It's a small forward.
I wouldn't be thinking about all the misses. I'd be thinking about, hey, today it's not even 3/4 time, and I've had 4 decent looks. They're not just scrambling.
All gettable, yeah. You're right.
4 decent looks of goal I've had. So, glass half full, absolutely.
He's got a bit of a strut about him as well, Sully. 19 years of age, 170 centimetres.
I don't know about turning to the crowd after you kick the first one. Turn to your teammates, young fella.
A little bit of blonde tips through the hair as Windsor kicks Melbourne inside 50. Sicily in the pack. Gawn was there as well. Free kick going the way of the Hawks. James Sicily will take it 15 metres out from his defensive goal. Or is it going to be Ned Reese's free kick? It has to come back to the big Hawthorn ruckman. Sicily wanted the kick. He has 22 disposals, James Sicily, as he eventually receives it now. Christian Petrarca with 24. Wetter with 21. Neil Bullen with 19. Langdon with 19 as well. Sicily in the right back pocket for the Hawks. Kicks up towards Newcomb. Over the top of Salem. Takes the mark and bounds away at half back. Kicks up towards Ginnivan at half forward. Awkward bounce. Rivers lays the tackle on him. Got it forward to Moore. Tries to knock it once more to Watson, who slips over but gets the hand pass to Ginnivan. Look away hand pass to Gunston. All the tricks on display. Up towards Joel. Gathers. Penny gathers him. Good tackle. Locks the ball in the right forward pocket. And all of a sudden, just a little spark for the Hawks. 27 minutes gone, 3rd quarter. Melbourne still by 38.
They've taken the game on, which is really good. And Harrison Petty, he's the one for Melbourne that's gone back to cover the loss of Lever in May.
Gawn and Reeves in the ruck again. Palm down. It'll be a clearing kick from Sparrow. Kicks it to Rivers. It's not 15. He spins around and spirals the ball up high, and Petrarca sits there at the drop. Takes the mark just outside of defensive 50 for Melbourne. Charlton Reeves a little slow getting back up. As the kick comes down the wing, Sicily jumps up, fists it over the boundary line for a ball in, or a throw in rather. And it's Melbourne leading by 38 points. Let's head down to Andrew Mays on the boundary.
An update for Hawthorn fans. Luke Bruce, just a tactical sub this afternoon. An update for Demons fans. Lever had his knee lightly strapped, got it heavily strapped, and then he's ripped the strapping off, and he's gone for a couple of runs. He's getting it restrapped.
Thanks, Maisie. Andrew Mays on the boundary. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Brad Saul and Nathan Burke with you. Kick was smothered as Melbourne tried to push forward. A chance for Reeves. Gets the hand pass away to McKenzie. High up and under kick to half forward. It bounced off the chest of Langdon. Ginnivan gathers. Swings towards goal from 55. Guinea goes bang, but misses to the right-hand side. Just the wrong side of the right goalpost. And a minor score. 37 points Melbourne's lead at the 29-minute mark of the 3rd term.
So McVeigh now to bring the ball in for Melbourne. MCG fully in shade now as he goes out to the southern side of the ground. Mark can't be taken by Van Rooyen. Newcomb will get it. Hand pass to Hardwick. Will put Hawthorn back inside 50 towards Gunston. Mark couldn't be taken. Melbourne will be able to try and exit defensive 50 here. They get it to the top of the 50. Langdon can't get a hand pass away cleanly to Salem. Goes after it. Trying to push it away. Lying on the MCG turf. Tom McDonald finally can get it for the D's. Just high skying ball out. Close to the boundary line. It's Hardwick that marks for the Hawks. So he holds on to the footy at left half forward.
One last roll of the dice as he kicks towards Nash. Can't quite take the mark. Gawn becomes the tackler. Dylan Moore can't break clear and the umpire will ball it up. Closing in on three-quarter time here at the MCG. Melbourne by 37 points. Reeves and Gawn. Reeves taps it down. Ginnivan tries to break clear. Can't do so. Spills the way of D'Ambrosio. He's locked up by Neil Bullen. With the support of Gawn, and we'll do it all once more. As we close in on three-quarter time. Tossed in the air. Gawn wins down the tap. Moore after it. Neil Bullen gathers. Siren sounds at three-quarter time. The Hawks finished the quarter with a flurry of inside 50s, but Melbourne beat it 4-2 in that third term to establish a 37-point advantage at three-quarter time. 10-7-67 to Hawthorn 4-6-30. After the Demons kicked the opening 5 goals of the match, they led by 32 points at quarter time. Hawthorn with 2-1 in the second quarter to close it back to 26 points. But the Demons in that term once more dominant and have established a significant advantage. For the Demons, 3 goals to Bailey Fritsch and to Cozzy Pickett, 2 goals to Kade Chandler. Jack Billings is the other goal scorer for the Demons, while for the Hawks, their goals have come through Watson, McDonald, Weddle and Bruce. An injury for Stephen May in the second quarter. He was subbed out for Marty Hoare with suspected broken ribs, and Jake Lever has been struggling with what looked to be a leg issue. We'll see whether he returns after a couple of attempts to try and get the strapping right ahead of the final quarter. Well, Jack Gunston came into the action for the Hawks in that third quarter at the expense of Luke Bruce. Great to have your company on Saturday afternoon footy. Melbourne by 37 points on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
If you love country music, you'll love ABC Country.
You get a fast car.
It's Australia's home of country music. The music you grew up with.
You'll be the captain.
All the latest country hits.
I ain't proud of all the punches that I've thrown.
And emerging artists.
Because, baby, we've been apart.
24 hours commercial free. ABC Country. It's on your DAB Plus digital radio and the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Finn McGuinness to Hawthorn. Hand pass to Scrimshaw. Hand pass straight to Petrarca of Melbourne. Over the top to Fridge. Swings onto his left. Hits towards goal and puts through his third.
So Ginnivan with the free kick finds Weddle. Beautifully weighted kick to Weddle. So Weddle from directly in front. Kick looks good. And it is. Weddle with the Hawks, third of the afternoon.
As he starts his run-up, makes his approach towards the punt road end, pulls his kick and finds Chandler. As Chandler comes in, looking for his second. Beautiful strike. Steers it straight through the middle.
He picked up there by Brown, who hand passes it to Petrarca. 45 metres out. He liked it the moment he kicked it. Hands up, celebrating the moment the ball left his boot. Half forward for Hawthorn. Flat kick inside 50. Good kick from Chol. And it's the Wizard Watson who marks again. Wizard Watson has had shots from all over the MCG across the past couple of weeks. And this is the one. On his 7th attempt, Nick Watson gets his first goal in AFL.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
The highlights of the third term as called on ABC Sport. Melbourne leading by 37 points over Hawthorn. Earlier it was the Fremantle Dockers who made it 2 wins from 2 matches, 26-point winners over North Melbourne. Our next stop is the Harbour City as the Sydney Swans take on Essendon, and that's where we find Clint Wilden.
Matt Klitsch, thank you. This game bodes, it could be anything. Two sides who in recent times, they might not be rivals as such, never play each other in a rivalry round, but in the book of feuds in recent occasions, the last 33 games between Sydney and Essendon, 16 of those matches have had a winning margin of 10 points or less. And last year, both games were thrillers as well. To make things tougher, though, for the Bombers, they've had a couple of late changes. One that has just happened. Jake Kelly, of course, the former Adelaide player, was due to play his 150th, is reportedly out through illness. So Alwyn Davey Jr. from the emergency bench comes into the team, and Darcy Parish was originally named back on Thursday. He did not travel. Ben Hobbs named to take his place. Nothing official through from Sydney yet about any changes or indeed the subs, but already a couple of blows for the Bombers in this game. Two unbeaten sides. Sydney have been red hot. They've won to the Bombers, beating the Hawks by 24 points with the Essendon edge showing last week. And Sydney's midfield has been nothing short of outstanding, particularly Isaac Heaney. How will he go today? Sydney faces the Bombers. Looking forward to bringing it to you very soon here on Live Footy on ABC Sport.
Thank you very much, Clint. Look forward to joining you, Daniel Garb, Callum Sinclair and Joel Paffel at the conclusion of this game here at the MCG. As always, you can join us on the SMS 0437 774 774. The thoughts of Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke with you.
The tension late in that quarter, Berkey, belied the actual score. It was a both sides seemed to lift their application intensity around the ball. That was off the back of the first half of that quarter that was pretty tight, an arm wrestle. And then Melbourne kicked away with some of their gun players getting involved, a couple of quick scores. And then finally, great to see Nick Watson kick his first league AFL game on his 7th attempt. And what that highlights to us, Burke, he's getting himself in great positions to be having a look on goal. And I didn't realise how small he is out there. And yes, Clinchy, I reckon he has got the tips in for his second game, so he has got some swagger and not lacking in confidence, which is what we like to see.
That was the look of the Hawks at one stage, wasn't it, in the 2000s?
Yeah, it was nearly 20 years ago now.
Lives in the memory for some of us.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. $6 the margin here, Berkey. What do you need to see here from both sides?
From the Hawks, I want to see them take the game on. There was 87 possessions for 13 inside 50s. That's the most they've had in the quarter with the least amount of possessions. So without Lever, without May, put that Melbourne backline under pressure. Petty's gone down there. I'm tipping he would have spent the whole pre-season trying to be a forward. So it's going to be new for him. For Melbourne, don't overdo it. Don't try and make everything perfect. And don't overdo the handballing. Get the ball inside 50 as quickly as they can.
Into the final turn we go. Melbourne by 37 points. Max Gawn tries to take it out of the ruck. He can't clear the congestion. Moore was taken high as he tried to bust his way clear. He'll get the free kick to the right of the centre circles. Looks up towards Marbiel Chol at half forward. He takes the mark awkwardly, but was able to hang on. In front of Marty Hoare. Just seeing Stephen May finally being taken in the ambulance. It's never the quickest process trying to get them out of the MCG and off the scans. Kicks into the pocket. Gunston caught behind. Petty couldn't take the mark. Hand pass to Oliver. Gets the hand pass away to Billings. And now to Neil Bullen. Kicks Melbourne up to the members' wing. Ben Brown can't gather. It clears to the back of the pack. Hardwick dodging and weaving. Has support back at half back. He fires a hand pass back to Frost. He can turn and come inboard, and McGuinness marks for Hawthorn.
McGuinness at half back kicks across to Sicily. Marks right half back for the Hawks. Sicily indecisive about what he wants to do, just holds on to the footy for a little bit before finding John Newcomb 20 metres ahead. Newcomb kicks slightly inboard towards Warple. He's got Petrarca on the mark, so he'll kick back to Impey. Centre half back for Hawthorn. Impey, he'll kick straight down the field, going for McDonald, but it'll be intercepted here by Melbourne. It means it's anyone's ball. Hawthorn can win it back. McGuinness picks it up, but then he hand passes it straight to Billings, who could have hit up Fritsch. He doesn't. Impey's back in the game again for Hawthorn. He kicks the ball down the centre of the MCG, and Christian Salem sits back for Melbourne to take the intercept mark at half back for the D's. So a flurry of action. In the end, it's Melbourne holding the footy at half back, and leading by 37 points early in the last quarter.
Salem out towards Gawn. Great mark from McKenzie, who rose over the top. Not the easiest challenge to do against a pick ruckman. Streams to half forward, cuts back inboard, kicks to Mitch Lewis. They're building in the right forward pocket, fires on goal. Great finish. Lewis turns to the fans and pumps his fist. Hawthorn with something to build on to start this final term. The opening goal inside 2 minutes. Maybe their best transition of the match. Melbourne 10-7-67 to Hawthorn 5-6-36. Mitch Lewis with his first.
That was fluid, wasn't it, Berkey? Fantastic bit of play on the outside wing. But McKenzie, I think you saw your call, was that took ground and a really clever kick to advantage for Mitch Lewis. And that's something you see from a 200-centimetre forward. Play on from a mark inside 50 with a fantastic finish. Good energy by the Hawks out there.
Yeah, Mackenzie getting up and spoiling Max Gawn and then having the courage to run around him, because there wasn't a lot happening up forward. He had to hang on to the ball as long as he could, and when he released it, Mitch Lewis had found some space.
Margin sitting at 31 points as Reeves taps it down. It's Petrarca that finds the footy, though. Puts Melbourne inside 50. It's right towards Van Roy and takes it on his chest. And we'll have a shot at goal for a quick reply from Melbourne, kicking from 40 metres out directly in front.
That's as pure piece of centre bounce vision you see. Max Gawn down to Petrarca and then just putting it into space for Van Rooyen. Fantastic.
I'm not sure whether Hardwick's the best matchup for Van Rooyen, who gets most of his goals from marking the ball over his head. He's got a good foot extra height on Hardwick.
3 goals last week, 3 goals from these sides last net. He's got his first this afternoon. Van Rooyen with the goal directly in front, eases it through. It's Melbourne back to 37 points ahead, 11-7-73. Leading Hawthorn 5-6-36. Let's now head down to Andrew Mays on the boundary.
Lauren, we can confirm that Jake Lever is officially done for the day. Ripped off the strapping, didn't jump back on the bike, and he's taken a seat at the back of the bench. So a few concerns over that right knee.
So both Lever and May out now for this final term, with Marty Hall coming in as a sub used when May went off in that second term. So a couple of concerns there for Melbourne, but still ahead by 37 points.
Yeah, a couple of concerns for this week, obviously, with those two not on there, but next week as well. Just having a quick look, Melbourne play Port Adelaide next Saturday, so without May probably definitely, without Lever likely, that's a big loss for the Melbourne backline.
Yeah, they got Port Adelaide, Adelaide and Brisbane in the next 3 weeks. We'll learn a little bit more about the Demons. Warple gets the clearance of the Hawks, kicks up towards half forward. Chol got underneath the footy, and an easy mark from Harrison Petty, who started forward, has been redeployed back in defence alongside Tom McDonald. So Petty goes out wide, and the mark is taken by Caleb Windsor.
I really like this young bloke. He attacks the footy hard, puts a lot of pressure on, he gets it, he runs as fast as he can. I think he's got a bright future.
Once he disposes of it, he's always keen to get involved once more as he works it to Howes, who kicks up towards half forward. Unable to take the mark, Sparrow, but he gets back onto it, turns and kicks inside 50. Van Rooyen tries to clear a path. Brown's taken the mark at the back, but it is a free kick. Van Rooyen gave away the free kick with a shove, and James Sicily will take it at the city end, 30 metres out from his defensive goal.
Sicily kicks for disposal number 25 and spots up Ginnivan, who marks. Then hand passes it off to McGuinness, whose kick is intercepted by Oliver standing at centre wing.
McGuinness has got to know his limits. That's not a kick he can make.
So Oliver, one bounce to Brown, running onto it, then runs outside of attacking 50. It'll be picked up now by Amon of the Hawks. Can hand pass to McGuinness. Hand passes across to Ginnivan, who takes it with one hand and then fires off a hand pass to Moore, who finds McGuinness again. Keeps running, he's kicked. Petty gets a fingertip onto it. And then gets a high five as well from Oliver for stopping that ball from going any further than the end of the Melbourne bench, where we'll have a throw in. 6 minutes played in the final term. Melbourne with a healthy 37-point lead.
Earlier today, Fremantle winners by 26 points over North Melbourne. Our next stop is the Sydney Swans and the Bombers. Alan Davey out with illness. Jake Kelly coming in. Corey Warner and Alan Davey Jr. the subs for that match. The throw in, no clearance, and the umpire will ball it up once more. 37-point lead the Demons' way. The goal apiece to start this final term. Thrown up, Reeves and Gawn. Reeves wins down the tap for the Hawks into the path of D'Ambrosio. Can't get a disposal away. Oliver tries to knock it towards the boundary. Gathers, tackled by D'Ambrosio. Somehow got a kick forward to Christian Petrarca. He's had some duress throughout the afternoon. Clayton Oliver, who's continued to toil away, somehow got a kick forward, and we'll get a rousing rendition there from the Melbourne fans. Petrarca comes inboard to Sparrow, called to play on, kicks up towards Pickett. It's Fritsch at the back who flies. Did he take it on the third bite? He did. All eyes are to Cosy Pickett, but the main attraction was at the back. Bailey Fritsch, who flew late and comes down with an impressive mark. Right on the stickers on the back number of James Sicily. He was sitting on his backside when he actually claimed the last bite of the mark. Bailey Fritsch with 3 goals so far this afternoon. He's kicked 1 in each quarter. A chance to boot his 4th here. Just the 9 disposals as he starts out to the right on a 45-degree angle. Fritsch comes in. Normally a beautiful kick off the boot, and this is no exception. The Demons are on the march now. 43-point lead as Fritsch puts through his 4th. 12-7-79 to the Hawks, 5-6-36. 8 minutes gone. Final term on ABC Sport.
Beautiful player, Fritsch, isn't he? Doesn't need much time and space. He makes things look very easy. He's always balanced, poised. Incredibly reliable set shot for goal. He's the type of forward you're always looking for as a midfield, because you know he's going to make the most of his opportunities.
Versatile. I reckon he gets the equal amount of goals in general play by running onto the ball and snapping, as well as taking a high pack mark like that. So he can get goals in a number of ways, which is what you want from that sort of hybrid forward that he is. Kick 4 now. I thought Cozzy Pickett might have been the pick of the forwards today. He had 3 in that first half, but still only 3. Now Fritsch has got 4.
So Fritsch with 4 as play restarts. Petrarca again with a clearance, and who does he find? Fritsch. The man of the moment takes the mark ahead of Sicily. We'll have another set shot, 35 metres out this time.
That was just outstanding forward play there by Fritsch, because as soon as he saw Petrarca streaming forward, he didn't lead straight away. He just turned and he engaged Sicily and then pushed off with his left hand and only had to lead about 5-6 metres with the ball out in front of him. He didn't chew up his space too early, otherwise he'd be having a shot from 50 rather than 40.
Fritsch scored 4 goals in opening round, none last week, has 4 right at the moment as he kicks for his 5th. He's got 5. Bailey Fritsch with 5 at the MCG this afternoon. Melbourne's lead goes out to 49 points. 13-7-85. Hawthorn 5-6-36. 10 minutes gone in the final term.
There's absolutely nothing Sicily can do there either. As we just watch a replay here, and Berkey is spot on. Fritsch just holds his ground. It only takes the mark 5 to 8 metres from whence he initially begun. Such was the kick and the power of the penetration from Petrarca just to put that into space, put that to advantage.
He's had the 7 clearances, Christian Petrarca. It's the centre bounce ones that have really caught the eye, Sully.
He's up to 28 possessions, 7 clearances, 3 tackles, 8 inside 50s and a goal. So it's not a bad day's work.
Melbourne out by 49 points as Gawn wins down the tap to Sparrow. Here they go again. Kicks up inside 50. Pickett went early. Spoiled down by Carl Amon. It spills out to Sparrow at right half forward for Melbourne. Hand pass to Neil Bullen. Runs into D'Ambrosio. Spinning out of the tackle. Hand pass back to Billings. Hacks the kick inside 50. Fritsch is there again. He's got it again. The ball is on a string at the moment for Bailey Fritsch, who will go back and kick for his 6th.
He moved Sicily very easily there. Don't see that too often.
So he's actually displaying in those last 3 goals forward craft. He's not just using his athleticism. That's outstanding forward craft, to use his body, to hold his ground, to know when to lead and know when to hold back. So he's pure forward coaches would be loving this last 5 minutes.
Just got the body bump on Sicily at exactly the right moment. Out to the right, just inside 50. Bailey Fritsch for his 6th. He drags it right and a minor score. You heard the groans from the Melbourne fans who are getting used to jumping out of their chairs. The Demons lead by 50 points at the 12-minute mark of the final term.
Jack Scrimshaw running out of defence, takes a bounce. Hand passes across to Sicily. Forced to hand pass back to Scrimshaw. Goes long down the members' wing towards Chol. Tom McDonald at the back can get a tap away into the hands of D'Ambrosio, though, of the Hawks. Hand pass away to Newcombe, whose kick intercepted by Christian Salem. Right on the paint of the AFL logo. Salem goes inboard towards Tom McDonald. So Melbourne looking for another entry inside 50 here. So they really put their stamp on this game. Goes inside 50. Sicily picks it up. Hand pass gets away. Viney jumps onto it. Hand pass to Fritsch. Hand pass to Oliver. His kick smothered though by Scrimshaw, who can hand pass to Frost. Will just ease the kick towards Impey right at the top of attacking 50 for the Hawks, or defensive 50 rather for the Hawks.
Jarman Empey looks inboard, wants to take the risk, kicks towards Newcomb, spoiled down by Gawn, into the path of Sparrow, cuts onto his left-hand side, kicks out to Windsor, marks it left half forward. A chance for another forward 50 entry for Melbourne. Played on, couldn't find a way past Weddle. Missed the intended target, McVie, who has to try and tap it to his own advantage against Ward. It spills out to Newcomb of the Hawks. Hand pass to Connor McDonald. Links the hand pass away to Chol. There's only a one-on-one inside 50. It's Jack Ginnivan up against House. Great kick to Ginnivan's advantage. House did well, made the spoil. Ward comes crashing in, dragged off it by Salem. Ball spills away towards Marty Hoare. Knocks it into Rivers, and over the top comes Connor Nash. Jack Ginnivan looked like he almost had the perfect kick inside 50, but some great defending from Melbourne on the last line.
I think that was Howes then. It's really good kick. It was a good kick by Joel. Ginnivan led back into space, but lovely time spoil.
Gawn palms it down, Nash picks it up, and the umpire blows his whistle and finds a free kick going the way of the Demons. It'll be Viney to be the recipient of the kick in defence for Melbourne. Goes out wide to Howes, just chips it towards Windsor. Just his third game of AFL, chips it towards Salem. And Windsor keeps running along that southern wing as Salem decides what to do next with the footy. Melbourne leading by 50 points in the fourth term. It's out towards Howes, who marks. Happy to just edge the kick towards Salem as well. So Melbourne now happy to slow things down along the southern wing of the MCG. Salem goes up high towards Van Rooyen. He doesn't mark. Oliver's around there. Hand pass comes from Scrimshaw across to Warple for the Hawks. He hand passes back to McGuinness, who puts it on the boot and sends it towards Watson. Marks centre wing, Nick Watson. Holding the footy and pointing towards where he wants to kick it. And then goes long to half forward for the Hawks. Down towards Chol, tries to juggle and hold on to it. Can't do that. Gunston picks up. Hand passes to McDonald, who hand passes to Warple, who just chips a kick inside 50 towards Ward. So Ward holding the footy too far away to score. So he'll pop it into the pocket. Mark can't be taken. Langdon can hold on to it and pick it up. Hand pass to Billings in a 1-2, gets it back, and he'll kick down the wing in the Brown direction.
Arms out in front of him. He had left arm from Sam Frost, just made high contact, and Ben Brown will get the free kick at right half back. Turns it, comes inboard to Marty Hoare. The sub who came into the action for Stephen May. The Demons have finished this second half without May or Lever. May's gone to hospital with suspected broken ribs. Jack Lever hasn't been able to return after landing awkwardly and spoiling through a rush behind. Salem marks at centre half back for Melbourne. Kicks out to Tom McDonald, who marks on the Shane Warne stand wing. Turns and comes back inboard to Salem. Petty's just come on from the bench. He can go back to Gawn and eventually get it out to the members' side if Gawn intends to. He's at the moment not all that keen, but eventually chips it to right half back, and Harrison Petty does take the mark. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Harry says, I think Melbourne are coming good. They might be the Ferraris of the AFL. And also coming through from Stan in Victoria, what are the thoughts of the team on the Hawks and the way in which they played today? It's actually asked for your critique, Berkey, as Salem at right half back kicks up towards Jacob Van Rooyen. Can't take the mark. Gawn was there as well. Frost tried to throw a boot at it, missed it. It's gathered by McKenzie. Hand pass to Nash. They're running it away to D'Ambrosio. And now to Ginnivan. Kicks off the outside of the boot, looking for Scholl. He can't take the mark as Tom McDonald reached over and made the spoil. He went for the chest mark, Scholl. Watson gathers for the Hawks. Hand pass to Finn McGuinness. 60 out, pokes the kick into the pocket. Didn't do Connor McDonald all that many favours. Rivers the tight against the boundary, and eventually backpedals across under the pressure of the Hawks. Right forward pocket for Hawthorn. Melbourne by 50 points.
Well, I think we'll talk more at the end of the game, but Hawthorn got it horribly wrong in that first quarter. But to their credit, they've changed things in the next three quarters and made them far more competitive. At the end of the day, they're just not as good a team as what Melbourne are.
So Melbourne tats it out. McKenzie runs onto it for the Hawks. Taken by Viney, though, of the D's. Hand pass to Rivers. He'll just put the kick in front of Petrarca, who runs onto it beautifully and takes the mark. In front of Scrimshaw. Kind of dislocated a finger potentially here. Just holding onto his hand. Still keen to take his kick though, Petrarca. It's a flat kick forward. There's Gone, takes the mark, then gets a late bump afterwards from McGuinness. Umpire won't pay a 50, but it was a late bump, and there's a few going in there to remonstrate. Oliver's one of them. Has Gone, continues to play on, puts the kick inside 50, goes over the top of the pack. Fritsch was there, he can't mark. D'Ambrosio back there for Hawthorn. Hand pass to Hardwick, hand pass to Wardful, who can get the ball to Nash.
And now to McKenzie, who dodges and weaves at centre-half back for Hawthorn. Kicks out to Marbiel Chol on the wing. Good clean pick-up in front of Tom McDonald. Kicks towards Ginnivan, knocks it on to Connor McDonald. Inside 50, options are plenty. Mitch Lewis at the top of the square. Petrarca gets back and rushes it through. And lots of encouragement for the Demons midfielder. I think he did display his finger on the far side, but a desperate act there, getting back to deny Hawthorn a late goal. Melbourne by 49 points at the 18-minute mark of the final term.
Judd McVie with the kick into Petty. Kicks out wide to Langdon. The outer side of the MCG. Feels like it's dropped about 7 degrees in this last quarter since the sun's gone down. As Langdon kicks backwards towards Petty. And Petty finds McVie, so they've just gone in the opposite direction to the kick-in. McVie chips towards Rivers. Right back pocket now for Melbourne. And he'll just pop it forward towards Howes. So Howes happy to hold on to the footy. And plenty of Melbourne players just happy to chip this around. Still plenty of time left in this last quarter. As Howes goes across to Petty. Kicks to Salem. So they've switched it back onto the southern side of the MCG. And kicks to Langdon, who had the footy in the same position at left half back about 2 minutes ago. Langdon looks to his right, then decides to run down the wing and put it to a pack forming further down the field, close to the boundary line. Viney was there, so he's happy to see it over the boundary line now for a ball up just in front of centre wing, slightly to the advantage of Melbourne, who are holding a 49-point advantage nearly 20 minutes into this final term.
Earlier today, Fremantle made it 2 wins from as many matches, 26-point winners over North Melbourne. We're off to the Harbour City next for Sydney and Essendon. As Hawthorn through McKenzie gathers. Hand pass away to Connor Nash. High kick inside 50. Chol's out number 2 on 1. Getting back, Harrison Petty takes the mark. Good support from Judd McVie. And short to Salem at the top of the defensive 50. Straight through the middle to Neil Bullen. A little bit of the sting has been taken out of this match. Kicks out to the members' wing. Wins the marks. Ball transition far easier now. Kicks up towards Chandler, who marks it right half forward. Has 3 goals next to his name. Kicks looking for Cozzy Pickett. He takes the mark on his chest. Just led beautifully into the space provided behind Fritsch and Sicily. And there was little that Hardwick could do. As Cozzy Pickett just held his body position and was able to take a comfortable chest mark.
Easy, quick, clean transition for the Demons there. Right, Clinchy Sting well and truly gone. Some tired boys out there at the moment.
Has 3 goals next to his name. Started the match with 2 in the first quarter. Cozzy Pickett on a 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Misses to the right-hand side. Melbourne lead by 50 points. 13-9-87 to Hawthorn 5-7-37. 21 minutes gone final term.
Carl Amon in his second season in Hawks colours after crossing from Port Adelaide. Takes the kick in, finds Jarman Impey, then he keeps running, gets the hand pass back, Amon, and can kick it towards Ward, who marks now. And he'll choose to go to Amon again, who kept running down the wing, and it was a hurried kick forward. And it was Petty just sitting back there, easily able to take an intercepting mark there for the D's.
We could see about 5 seconds before Carl Amon actually received that handball. He's running around the boundary line on his left foot. I don't know why any Hawthorn key forward couldn't also understand that he's running around the boundary line on his left foot, and not one of them led to actually give him an option. And that's going to be an issue for Hawks going forward. They need to find some smart forwards, and I'm just not sure they got a lot of them.
Petty up to Pickett, kicks into the middle of the ground. Jack McVie takes the mark. He works it forward to Rivers. Looks up to right half forward. Marty Hawes pushed forward. He marks 60 metres out from home, heading to the city end in this final term. A known goal kicker with just 1 for his career into the pocket, looking for Pickett, but the mark is taken by Jarman Impey. Marks in the left back pocket for Hawthorn. Melbourne by 50 points. The Demons with Port Adelaide, Adelaide and Brisbane in the next 3 weeks. Hawthorn, of course, have Geelong in the Easter Monday clash next week. Patrick Dangerfield expected to miss the next 2 for the Cats. Holding the ball. Free kick going against Dylan Moore, trying to break the tackle. And Melbourne free kick at right half forward. And it's going to go the way of Alex Neil-Bullen.
So Neil-Bullen almost slinging Moore down there, but placed him on the turf. So made sure that it wasn't going to be a sling tackle and just carefully put him on the ground and then rewarded with the free kick. Puts the D's inside 50 here, looking for Fritsch. Watson steps back there, though, and takes the mark. So read it best, then dodges around Fritsch. Hand passes back to Hardwick, who's right on the goal line. Crosses across Hawthorn's goal line to Scrimshaw, who now takes the mark in the right back pocket. Puts a hand pass in front of Impey, who can then hand pass to McGuinness. He'll choose to put this on the boot and kick down the southern wing. Intercept mark taken from Marty Hoare. Kicks to the edge of the centre square to Salem, who then just chips it forward to Rivers.
Rivers at the back edge of the centre square. Looks towards half forward. There's not a lot of movement, so he goes short to Clayton Oliver. Session number 23 coming up. Christian Petrarca leads the way with 29. Hand pass to Rivers, kicks up towards Gawn. Hand pass over the top to Sparrow. 35 metres out, finishes with class. And the goals have continued to flow in the final term. The Demons with 4 goals to 1 to extend their lead out to 56 points. 14-9-93 to Hawthorn 5-7-37. The applause you can hear in the background is for Max Gawn, who's coming to the bench. The Demons at the 25-minute mark of the final term lead by 56.
13-8 inside 50s this quarter. 6-3. Clearances this quarter in Melbourne's favour. They've been very clean, efficient. Kick efficiency also 84% to Hawthorn 78. They've been very good to finish things off here, Melbourne.
Crowd posted at 43,960 fans. Saturday afternoon footy, and as Law said, a lot of them enjoying the sunshine. It certainly got a bit colder though later in the afternoon.
It did. Good to see 40,000 fans, or 44,000 nearly, in here. Is from the middle. It's Newcomb who gets the footy, and then he's just tackled into the turf. And will be in the back. So Newcomb will win out here against Jack Viney. Newcomb will chip it towards Warple, about 5 metres. That was definitely not 15. Warple looks surprised. Can get a hand pass back to Newcomb. And then Newcomb hand passes back to Warple. He's tackled down. Umpire says play on. It's McDonald that takes the mark, spins around, puts it on his boot and just squeezes one through. No, it's just to the right-hand side. So just behind for Hawthorn. In fact, it's shaved the post. So margin now 55 points, Melbourne's advantage. Latter stages of this final term.
On the SMS 0437 774 774. Fran asking around Marbiel Chol as to where he came from. We spent 6 years with the Tigers, last 2 with the Gold Coast Suns, and now with the Hawks this season in their forward line alongside Mitch Lewis. And he traded Jacob Kaczynski to the Tigers. So the new look forward line in 2024. Ben Brown for the Demons on the wing. Hand pass to Langdon. Links up with Billings. Works it forward to half forward. Neil-Bullen with a little fumble. And it goes out of play. And left half forward for the Demons. 14-9-93 to Hawthorn 5-8-38. Won't be a long quarter. 26.5 minutes gone in the final term. Thrown back in with Gawn on the bench. Van Rooyen doing the ruck work against Reeves. It comes down to Connor Nash. Kicks end over end around the wing. Connor McDonald gathers at right half forward. Hacks a kick inside 50. Ginnivan caught behind. McVie runs onto it for Melbourne. Kicks out to half back. Chandler takes the mark at right half back. It cuts back inboard. Past D'Ambrosio. Kicks up towards Ben Brown on the lead. He juggles the mark. 50 out from home. And he might kick after the siren. The Demons get their season back on track after an opening round loss to the Sydney Swans. 2 wins on the trot, just the margin to be decided. As Ben Brown is going to kick from outside 50. Not sure he's got this anymore, Berkey.
No, I don't think he has. Those legs aren't getting any younger, and certainly at the end of a game where he's probably run 8 or 9 kilometres at least, it's going to take a fair effort.
Can't give up the pass this time either. So with the last kick of the match, Ben Brown starts on the members' wing. Charges to about 55 metres out. Sets flight. Not a bad effort. Can it clear the line? No, it can't. We might have to go upstairs just to confirm, which is only going to add to the anticlimax.
Make a call.
Score review. We're just seeking confirmation that it was touched before the line, not after, as Reeves and Scrimshaw were both there.
It was touched. No score.
Looks to be
Move on.
No score.
Off you get.
No score on the big screen. Melbourne winners by 55 points over the Hawks. They're moving on and moving up, but it came at a cost. They finished the second half without their two key defenders, Stephen May and Jake Lever.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
The Demons jumped out of the blocks, kicking the opening 5 goals of the match. They led by 32 points at quarter time, by 26 points at half time. The Hawks, they tried to offer a fight back, but the Demons steadied the lead by 37 points at three-quarter time and 4 goals to 1 in the final term to run out 14,993 to the Hawks 5,838 in front of 43,960 fans.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
The Demons winners by 55 points at the MCG. What at moments became quite a fiery contest. But the Demons were just simply too good in the end. 5 goals to Bailey Fritsch for the winners, 3 to Cosy Pickett, 2 to Chandler, individuals to Billings, Petrarca, Van Rooyen and Sparrow. Meanwhile, for the Hawks, their goals came through Watson, McDonald, that's Connor McDonald, Weddle, Bruce and Lewis. The Demons winners by 55 points to move to 2 wins and 1 loss, while the Hawks are still searching for their first win in 2024. The thoughts of Nathan Burke and Brad Sewell with you on ABC Sport.
Probably a fitting scoreline in Berkey, I think. Melbourne just far too good. Their first quarter was as good as Hawthorn's was as bad, but to have finished the game in the manner that they did this afternoon was just terrific. Hawthorn had their moments, had passages of play, and importantly, they managed to change their style of play after the first quarter where they got absolutely smoked. So that'll certainly be a positive for Mitch. But otherwise, they've got a lot of work to do at the moment, Hawthorn, and they were shown by a top 4 side today exactly their deficiencies and where the mark is to be playing finals.
I'd love to hear what Mitchell has to say about that first quarter. Whether that was the plan that they wanted to go out with and then they changed because it wasn't working, or whether the players just overcooked what he wanted them to do. And with a young side, sometimes that can happen. If you're stressed during the week, we've got to keep the ball off Melbourne. We can't kick it to Max Gorn. We can't kick it to Lever. We can't kick it to May. And they overdo it. And that's what it absolutely looked like in that first quarter. They had 106 possessions and only 5 inside 50s. Next quarter, 106, 12 inside 50s. 87 possessions, 13 inside 50s, in the last quarter 83, and still 10 inside 50s. That's a far better ratio than that first quarter, which was just ridiculous, 106, and the damage was done. They were never going to come back into the game after that. So let's hope that it was just a case of a young side overdoing the instructions of the coach to keep the ball away from Melbourne. Let's hope so. With Melbourne, they're a really good side. There's a tendency every now and again to just overdo things a little bit. They finished the game with 217 kicks, 143 handballs. That's a pretty good ratio. Second quarter, they were 35 kicks, 47 handballs. They just overdid it a little bit. And all of their midfielders can get a little bit handball happy at times. They've just got to make sure that that doesn't happen, because good teams will pressure them around the ball. They'll turn the ball over when they do over handball, and they'll shoot back the other way. And as we know, May and Lever certainly look in doubt the next couple of weeks. How they can reshape that back line with Harrison Petty, probably the one having to go back, is going to be important. Does that mean Shaki comes back into the team? Can you rely on Shaki? Probably not. We haven't been able to see that in his career so far. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they cover for the loss of those two guys. But again, Hawthorn, their midfielders, Nash, Warple, and McDonald. Who else? We've got McGuinness in there. They're really hard workers, and they're goers. Don't have a lot of class amongst that group. And the amount of times that the ball just turned over and there's scrumbly kicks along the ground, there's a lot of stuff like that. So I'd like to see, as those guys develop, hopefully they can develop a little bit of class as well, because the amount of scrubbly kicks inside their forward 50 was just far too many.
They still have Will Day, Hawthorn, their best and fairest from last year, to return. He'll be much welcomed when he does return. Where do you see them, Sully? Melbourne, obviously they lost by close margins in the finals to Collingwood and to Carlton, but knocked out in straight sets. They have 16 of their premiership side, who featured again this afternoon. Ben Brown provides an option, but probably not the goal-kicking threat in which he has been previously throughout his career. Bailey Fritsch kicks a bag of 5. Cosy Pickett kicks 3. Kate Chandler 2. Do you feel like their forward line might be jeopardised by some of those injuries with Stephen May and Jake Lever?
Yeah, I've no doubt the balance is going to be thrown for a little bit, depending on how long those guys are out for. But let's not forget, it's a long year. It's a really long year. So long as there's nothing too much structural damage done, and they miss a couple of weeks, no worries. But it gives their chance to develop their list elsewhere and give some key forwards or some talls, some options elsewhere. But Melbourne should be thereabouts again come the end of the year, and the challenge for them is to win finals.
The Demons winners by 55 points over the Hawks at the MCG. Let's join them with Andrew Mays.
Clinchy, a very good afternoon from the rooms. It's a bit of a kids club in here. Little Vineys, little McDonald's running around, little Levers, little Milkships here as well. So a really nice feeling in these rooms as the players start to enter, led by Max Gawn, who is very appreciative of all the families and friends who have gathered. And then a few of the dads wander in looking for their kids to hold in the circle. And Max has one of the youngest as well. So it's a tough task to try and gather them all together, but plenty of hugs and kisses for all the little ones, which is lovely to see. So all the players are in now, gathering in the circle. Lots of happy family, lots of happy friends, lots of happy kids. Here we go. Interesting to see Simon Goodwin on the outside of that circle with a lot of the players' wives and families and a few of the board members as well, all singing along. So a very happy camp down here for the D's, and we'll hopefully catch up with Harrison Petty pretty soon, who made his return to footy today.
Thanks, Maisie. We look forward to that. Melbourne 55-point winners over Hawthorn 14-9-93. The Hawks 5-8-38. The Demons with 4-1 in the final term. There was an act which I won't mind highlighting Christian Petrarca racing back to make a defensive spoil to rush it through from behind when Hawthorn seemed certain out for an easy goal. I guess, Sully, they're the sort of statements you're looking for from your senior players. It can't be Max Gawn every week. It can't be Stephen May. Clayton Oliver does it with a lead by example, but Christian Petrarca is probably the one who, if he can elevate his game to that next level where he's a regular goal kicker, that will certainly, and you touched on his centre clearance work today, that will certainly make Melbourne a better side than they were last year.
He's an absolute brute centre forward, and he does not waste the disposable. If he's kicking the ball inside 50, generally it'll be to the advantage to his teammates. So for a guy like that to have sprinted 50 metres to spoil on the goal line when the game is over, that's really important for the culture of the side, and for the younger players when such an influential player is setting the tone the way that he did late in that game.
How good can he be, Berkey? Can he be a Brownlow medalist this year if he's able to consistently, kick goals? And he had 29 disposals today, 6 clearances, 8 inside 50s, and 1 goal, 1.
He certainly can be. He's a type of player who wins the hard ball. Umpires see that. He can also go forward and kick a goal. And umpires will see that thing down he did in the goal square, pushing back, spoiling the ball through. He just ticks every box that the umpires see. So absolutely, I think he's right in that running for the Brownlow, and probably 3 votes again today.
Clayton Oliver finished with the 23 disposals. He resumed his battle with Finn McGuinness, and there was certainly an intent to try and make sure that he and Max Gawn at times were physically challenged as much as possible. Is that what you want to see if you're coming along to watch the Hawks today, that they're trying to take it up to Melbourne Stars?
Yeah, definitely. Probably, maybe disappointingly, it didn't seem to last much longer than that first quarter, and maybe that goes some way to Berkey's point. But yeah, they obviously set the tone early and wanted to challenge Clayton Oliver in the same way that they had previously done so. I don't think it had the same effect as what it had last year, but no less a good intent for the young side.
Had a bit of fun last Saturday night when Nathan Burke says, "You never forget your first goal," and then Brad Saul perfectly asked him on cue, "Can you remember your first?" And both of you couldn't remember your first goal. It might live in the memory a bit more for Nick Watson, who you can't reference without referring to him as the Wizard. Don't know if that's a self-appointed nickname or one he's earned over the under-18 competition, but 6 behinds before he finally kicked his first goal. And for Hawks fans, they were finally able to cheer to see the Wizard kick his first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. He's joined the club with a lot of expectation. Exciting, young, small forward. He's going to create plenty of opportunities, and for a guy to have had 7 shots on goal in his first 8 quarters of footy is quite remarkable. So, finally, nice for him to slot one.
It's a big call by the Hawks. It was a pick 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At a guy who's 4'10". Normally, you wouldn't pick that high on a small forward. Can he do a Caleb Daniel and sort of push into the midfield, push across the halfback line? Are there other strings to his bow? It's too early to tell at the moment. He's played 2 games of football, but to have 7 shots a goal, he's doing his job. But yeah, time will tell. It's been a pretty big call by the Hawks to use a pick that high on a potential small forward.
It also feels like they've got plenty of options for small forwards. Chad Wingard's returning from the Achilles injury. Dylan Moore plays a little bit higher up the ground. How have you sort of assessed their forward line, Sully, with Mitch Lewis? It sort of felt like if Hawthorn can keep him fit enough, maybe that'll help in their climb up the ladder, but partnered with Marbiel Chol this season.
Yeah, well, Mitch Lewis is probably the key, isn't he? When you look at Wingard, Bruce and Gunston, maybe, the 3 of those are arguably in their last, if not their second or third last year, so they haven't got too much left, and they've got small forward options in Ginnivan and then the Wizard. But Mitch Lewis, I think, is the key, and he was unsighted early. It took him a little while to physically impose himself on the contest just by at least crashing a few packs and bringing the ball to ground. But otherwise, Berkey, I don't think he had too much of an impact today. No,
just the 8 possessions and 1 goal from Lewis. The fact that they didn't kick the ball anywhere near him in the first quarter and a bit, didn't help. But he needs some help. Every key forward in this league needs some help. There's no one who's good enough, and the game isn't played where you can just be a one-out Tony Lockett and everyone else get out of the way. I'm going to actually dominate this game. Doesn't happen in modern football. You need 2, 3, 4 options to draw attention, and he doesn't have anyone to draw attention. Obviously, they're playing Marbiel Chol down there. He's going to get the ball if the ball finds him or finds in his area. He's got athletic ability that is freakish at times. He's closing speed, everything else. But he's not smart enough to be a centre forward. There's so many times the ball's coming around one wing and he's leading into the middle of the ground instead of being that get-out target. So will he learn that? I don't know. He's been in the league 8 years. This is his 9th year. He's not a young fella anymore. He's not just playing half a dozen, 40 games of football. This is his 9th year of football. Is he going to get it? I have my doubts, so my worry is who else is in the ranks coming through for the Hawks as that players who are going to help Mitch Lewis be able to go one-on-one with his opponent.
So back-to-back wins for the Demons, but it does come at a cost with Stephen May taken to hospital with what is suspected broken ribs, and Jake Lever finishing the second half on the bench. We're taking you to Sydney next for the Swans taking on the Bombers. There's a late change there with Owen Davey coming into the lineup for Jake Kelly, who's out with illness. So they lose Mason Redman. Jake Kelly now out as well. Corey Warner and Owen Davey Jr. are the subs. So we're just waiting for Melbourne to finish up their team meeting. So as they're doing that, we might get the votes, Berkey, for the ABC Footballer of the Year, if you're good to go.
Certainly good to go. I've given, we'll go with a 1 first. I've given Cozzy Pickett. He faded out in the second half, but he certainly set the game up for Melbourne with those 3 goals in the first half and gave them the lead that they needed. So 1 to Pickett, 2 to Bailey Fritsch for his 5 goals, and 3 to Petrarca for his 29 possessions, 7 clearances and 11 score involvements.
3 to Petrarca, 2 to Fritsch, 1 to Pickett from Nathan Burke in the ABC Footballer of the Year. That's certainly back-to-back 3-vote games to Christian Petrarca after his best on ground last week in the eyes of Brett Delidio against the Western Bulldogs. So he is making an impressive start to the season. The Hawks take on the Cats, Sully, in the Easter Monday clash. Always been great rivals. Certainly one you look forward to each year.
Yeah, it's a great game. Great game, great day. Not sure it'll be a great game.
Contest?
That's what I'm after. Not sure it'll be a great contest. Cats have started the season particularly well, haven't they? And Mitchell he'll start feeling a bit more of the heat now. Zipping 2, looking down the barrel, zipping 3. It's a long way back.
So if you're a Hawthorn fan leaving the MCG, what would you want to see on Easter Monday in your eyes?
You want to see... so today, for example, quarters 2 and 3 are what you're looking for. For whatever reason, things didn't click, and whether they were overcoached or they, the players didn't adapt quick enough in that first quarter. But for the most part, that was the 5 goal was a margin for the first 3 quarters, effectively. It wasn't until late in the game where the young Hawthorn side got a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic, and then the class of Petrarca in particular rose to the top in that final quarter, and they really kicked away Melbourne. So, if you can see 3 quarters of those 2 and 3 today that we saw, I think on Monday you'd be reasonably happy.
And probably a bit of that back to Melbourne's credit of having almost a grid defence set up through the middle of the ground, and Hawthorn kind of played in their hands by their small, slow ball movement transition, which I know Berkey at times frustrated you, but I think it's also a credit to Melbourne that when they're all on the same page, they are defending like that and making it incredibly hard for teams to transition.
Yeah, I think what we overlooked though was the stoppage numbers in that first quarter. I think it was the clearance
11 to 1.
11 to 1. There you go, 11 to 1. So when Hawthorn did manage to take some ground and and create a stoppage, the ball just zipped straight back out again. So that will be a focus area, I've got no doubt, and an area of concern come Monday for the Hawthorn side.
So the news coming through today that Patrick Dangerfield is expected to miss at least the next couple of weeks. So he'll miss the Easter Monday clash with a hamstring injury. Expected they'll get Mitch Duncan, who was a late withdrawal, to return home for the arrival of a child, and Tom Atkins to return for the Cats as well. But it was a good win by Geelong over the Adelaide Crows. A little bit underwhelming from the Crows in a sense that playing back at the Adelaide Oval. But that's to take nothing away from the way in which Geelong started the match.
I think Geelong surprised a few people. The way they played last week in Geelong against St Kilda, and then the way they played against a side, Adelaide, that have high expectations for this year. I thought they were fantastic.
Where do you have the Cats, Berkey, in your predictions? Can you see the 2022 Premiers bouncing back up the ladder and competing in finals? It feels like so much of it is relying on their top-end talent. And Tom Hawkins joins the Milestone Club next week, following in the footsteps of Joel Selwood.
I think Dangerfield is important. Even at his age, he's still a very important cog in that team. And without him, I think that's going to be a really, really big hole that they're going to need to fill. So, yeah, without Danger, it's going to be an interesting game. But they'll beat the Hawks next week, and they'll go 3-0. So they're setting themselves up for a run at the finals. Will it be a top 4? Not too sure. Yeah, I want to see them play someone really good away from Geelong.
Yeah, game 350 for Tom Hawkins next week. Tom Stewart, what a career he's had. 5-time All-Australian, not too far behind Matthew Scarlett, has 6. And was just able to dictate terms last night, and what a good player he is for the Cats.
I didn't realise he's the quickest player in history to have gotten to 5 All-Australians in less than 150 games or whatever it was. So, he just he holds ground position extraordinarily well, reads the play, rebounds well. As a defender, there's not much more you can ask for.
Melbourne winners by 55 points here at the MCG over Hawthorn, 14-9-93 to the Hawks 5-8-38. I think we can head inside the Melbourne rooms. Let's head back down to Andrew Mays.
Thanks, Clinchy. Harrison Petty, welcome back. How did that feel running back out onto the MCG?
Thanks, mate. It was good. It was good. I really enjoyed getting back out with the boys and putting on a performance for all the fans out there.
Now, don't tell too many fibs here. How much training in the pre-season did you do in defence? Because you had a couple of key men go down. So after a whole summer expected to be forward, did you think you'd find yourself down back?
No, not at all. I've done bugger all training down there. So I trained pretty much as a forward. When I was on the park, I was injured for a lot of the pre-season. But when I was on there, I was a forward.
So in that situation today, do you have to take a bit of a leadership role having played down there before? I know Jake, you can hear him from the bench a lot of the time, but how much voice do you add to that back line?
Look, I just try to do my part. I played a lot of footy down there, so I just sort of know the game plan pretty well down there, so I try to help out the boys as much as I can down there.
Let's head upstairs. Brad Sewell and Nathan Burke.
Harrison, well done today. The first quarter was all one-way traffic. How did you see things out there?
She was coming in hot and fast, so it was good for the forwards. But we had some good looks at it and converted on the scoreboard, which is good.
Cozzy Pickett, we know well, but he just seems to make such a difference, regardless of which line he's playing. He's such an igniter.
Yeah, he's an absolute freak. You want the ball in his hands, he makes things happen. He got lucky today and got on the scoreboard, which is good.
Fantastic to see Petrarca late, that defensive spoil. There's a bit of carry-on after that. What was all that about?
Nah.
So his first spoil in the back half or something, is it?
No, there's always he normally gets 1 or 2 grand balls in the D50 every year, so you've got to celebrate them hard. But they're the kind of acts that we love as a team, and we celebrate them really hard.
But first quarter was fantastic. Second quarter, a little bit more of a struggle. What was the message at half-time? Was Goody happy with the first half, or things to improve on, because you seemed to handball more than you kicked in that second quarter?
Yeah, look, it was a fast quarter up and back, sort of put our forwards under pressure, but we also needed to win contest forward of the ball, which allowed them, we didn't win contest forward of the ball, which allowed them to mop up and use their hands and numbers. Like they're a great kicking team, and we probably weren't good enough in that area.
Harrison Petty's with us on ABC Sport. You mentioned sort of celebrating the little moments. That seems to be a real theme. Clayton Oliver came to the bench late in the match and he high-fived every person on the bench. Is that something you're trying to embrace this year?
Yeah, definitely. It sort of brings you into the game. Like when you're struggling out there, if you start celebrating and getting around your teammates, it sort of brings you into the game more, and it also lifts others around you.
And your own personal story, you obviously were in great form late in the season and then suffered that Liz Frank injury and missed the rest of the year. How frustrating was that to finally feel like you were starting to feel comfortable as a forward?
Yeah, it was frustrating at the time, but I tried to get over that as quick as possible and get back and really rehab my foot, get that nice and strong, and I was focused on this year coming forward and playing some good footy.
You're going to be able to play out forward next week. Can you give us anything on Jake Lever firstly?
He had a little sore knee, so I've no idea. Well, I think the club will have to scan that and have a look at that. And I'm not too sure what Maisie's done either, so yeah. Yeah,
some rib concerns there, so you might be a backman again next week. Harrison, as always, we appreciate your time. Good luck against Port Adelaide.
Thanks, lads. Appreciate that.
Harrison Petty joining us from the Melbourne Rooms, winners by 55 points over Hawthorn. You never really want to volunteer to go back to defence, do you? You want to keep in the coach's mind you're a forward for now, unless desperation stakes call for it.
Definitely. Stay at the right end of the ground. And you don't want to play too well on defence either, do you? Might find himself stuck there.
Certainly a lot easier. Thanks to all our team. Thank you, Sully. Thank you to Nathan Burke.
Thanks, mate.
We'll see you again next week. Thanks to Andrew Mays down on the boundary, to Jules at the back of the box, to Lauren calling the action, to Andrea Williamson back in the studio. Great to have your company for live footy on ABC Sport. If you're listening to us in Tasmania, you're off on local radio to coverage of the state election. So if you want to listen to the footy, make sure you download the ABC Listen app and jump onto the AFL button. To everyone else, our next stop is the SCG. It's the Sydney Swans looking to try and continue with their great start to 2024. They're taking on the Bombers as the coverage continues of the 2024 season on ABC Sport. Thanks for your company. We'll chat to you again tomorrow.